morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching this or listening to us from. This is the Naija FC podcast. And today we are live on Instagram, not YouTube today. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in nevertheless. Of course, as always, my name is AyoT, and I have with me my reliable co-host.
Smith Layi. Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Um, Another Tuesday, another podcast, lots to discuss. I have my notes over here. But as always, I like to start by doing a review of the past week, just highlighting the Nigerian players who performed well. And of course, we'll talk about performances a little bit and then we'll dive deep into the rest of the conversation. We have quite a bit to talk about today. After the review, we're going to talk about CAF Confederations Cup a little bit. We're going to talk about some transfer rumors and some official transfers. We're going to talk about some not so positive news that happened, and then we'll talk about the Super Eagles as well. I know some people have known or heard what Okocha said. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, we'll look forward to the AFCON draws that are coming up in 6 days' time. The AFCON 2024 draws or 2025 draws. It's going to be an interesting one. And yeah, let's get into the conversation. So, for review of the week, I'll start by highlighting the goalkeepers who performed well this past weekend. We have Akpan Udo for Mostar in Malta. Decent game for him, so just want to give him his credits. You know, another young goalkeeper. Still played in Malta, not the toughest division, but for the fact that we have a scarcity of goalkeepers, I'll just highlight him. We also had Chiamaka Nadozie with 3 saves and a clean sheet for Paris FC. They won their game 6-0, big win for them. Moving over to defenders, Calvin Bassey, 5 goals, 7 clearances for Fulham in their crazy game. Kevin Akpoguma with 3 tackles and 8 goals, 1 for Hoffenheim. Good performance for him. Jonathan Renariga has been performing well for a few weeks now. 3 clearances, 5 goals, 1 for Ghent. Junior Pius kept a clean sheet, won 3 goals and made 6 interceptions for Chavez in Portugal. Stephen Eze, you guys probably saw his clips on our page. Stephen Eze had 1 goal, 2 tackles, 6 clearances, 10 goals, 1 for Jamshedpur in India. Onyinyechi Zog, 2 goals, 1, 4 clearances for Perth Glory. She also played today. Not a great game today, but over the weekend, her game was good. Joseph Olowu with 8 clearances and 9 goals, 1 for Doncaster Rovers. Austin Achiohale kept a clean sheet for Pachuca over there in Mexico. William Trust Ekong with 7 clearances and 9 goals, 1 for Al Khulud in Saudi. Ola Aina with an assist and 1 fantastic goal line clearance that you guys might have seen. If you haven't seen it, check out our Patreon page. We have Ola Aina's highlights there as well as other exclusive content. And that was for Nottingham Forest in Premier League in England. And then Kenneth Obina Mama with 4 tackles and 9 goals, 1 for CD Castellon in Spain. In midfield, we had Asbury Ikuchuku with 2 tackles for Ezumspor. We had Anthony Dennis, 3 interceptions and 4 goals, 1 for Gostepe. This is a player that I just want to highlight. Consistently doing well in the midfield for Gostepe in the Turkish Super League. I would not be surprised if one of the top teams in Turkey wants to sign him up, or if maybe a team in Belgium thereabouts. This is a midfielder that is doing well. Fortunately, unfortunately for us, it's not an attacking midfielder, but he is doing well. Innocent Bonke also had a good game with 6 goals, 1 for Adanaspor. Nnamdi Ofobo with a goal and a chance created, 4 goals, 1, 4 clearances for Swindon Town. Ifeanyi Matthew had a very good game with 5 interceptions and 8 goals, 1 for FC Zurich in Switzerland. And then Ifedayo Olusegun scored a goal for PDRM playing from the 10, center attacking midfield. And then going over to the forwards quickly, we had Bruno Emechi with a goal and assist for Boavista, also won 8 goals, playing from the left midfield position. Versatility over there for Bruno. Can play CB, can play LB, can play LWB, can play LM, can play DM. That's a versatile player, and we'll talk about him a little bit more later in the show. Sunday, Emmanuel scored a goal for Mohamedan. Olarin Wajukai, they scored a debut day goal for Eric Chelle in Turkey. Paul Mukairo got an assist for Boluspor. Moses Simon was on target for FC Nantes. His highlights are available on our Patreon page. Tony Nwakeme got an assist and created 4 chances for Trabzonspor. Rashida Ajibade scored her first goal of 2025 and also created 1 chance for Atletico de Madrid. Fred Onyedima, 3 chances created and 6 goals, 1 for Wycombe Wanderers. We had Sodiq Awujola with a goal and assist for Pyramid. Good performance for him there. Prosper Oba scored a goal for Vizela. Chinwendu Ihezu was on target for Pachuca in Mexico. Friday, Team got an assist for CD Mafra. Paul Onwachu scored a goal for Southampton. Chuba Akpom, Paul Onwachu, that was a fantastic header. We'll talk about it in a bit, but that header was beautiful. Chuba Akpom was also on target for AFC Ajax over the weekend. Emeka Eze, my next guest on the Home of Nigerian Football podcast, my interview podcast. Emeka Eze got an assist for Pendixper. Gift Monday, Gift Monday, 1 goal and 1 chance created for Tenerife. Edna Imade, another goal for Edna Imade, another chance created for Granada in the Liga F. Victor Osimhen scored a goal, created 3 chances for Galatasaray over the weekend. Scored another goal today. We'll talk about Osimhen in a bit for Galatasaray. And then our star of the week was Cyril Kolawole Dessers with 3 goals and 1 assist for Rangers. Stereo Dessers was our star of the week. And then the team of the week is as follows. Chama Canada was here in goal. Defenders, Calvin Bassi, Stephen Eze, William Trust Ekong, and Ola Aina. Midfielders, Nnamdi Ofobo and Ifeanyi Matthew. And then the forwards, or I would also include Bruno Emechi, left midfield, Rashida Ajibade, right midfield, and then the strikers, Cyril Dessers, of course, the star, and Edna Imade of Granada. So shout out to all the Nigerian players who made the team of the week. Okay, Smith Layi, let us get into the conversation. I'll start by asking you, I always like to ask you about your boy. Did you watch the game between Getafe and Barcelona?
Yeah. I watched the game, despite being like my loyalty towards Barcelona, but despite, I still actually have to watch, which him to perform well. What's it called? Cristiano did well, his normal bubbling, trying to actually put opposition defenders, under pressure and everything. So for me, as usual, Cristiano being Cristiano. So, a good performance for him for me.
Very interesting game. And for me, I just found it so funny how the Barcelona fans have been crying if you go to Getafe's comments on their social media, it's just Barca fans that have been crying since, because they felt like there was a penalty at the end that Barca should have got. But Uche, good performance. Getafe plays what I can describe best as anti-football. These guys, they honestly don't try to play.
They don't play.
They don't try to play. They just soak pressure, and then if they can score 1 goal, they score 1 goal, and then they will defend for the rest of the game. If you thought Jose Mourinho was bad, if you thought Diego Simeone was bad, no, you've not met this Getafe coach, Jose Bordalas. No, it's his own defensive tactic, man. Every time I watch Getafe's games, I can't lie. If not that there's a Nigerian player on their team, I would never watch them play, because their football is so negative.
It's so negative. Yeah.
It's so negative.
But if they're doing that with the limited resources they actually have, they're doing that to survive relegation. I just think that they have to do what they have to do, to get what they want.
You have to get the job done. And currently, they are now out of the relegation zone. So if they're able to survive for the rest of the season, the coach, you cannot hate him, man. The end will justify the means.
Yeah, that's it.
But shout out to Uche. Uche definitely had a good performance. Individual performance, he had a good game. Okay, let's talk about Paul Onuachu. Southampton, another defeat for them, but Onuachu scored his first ever Premier League goal. This is the second season in the Prem, but his first ever Premier League goal. A beautiful header. I know he's 6'7", but this header was not just, you're tall, so you scored. A beautiful header. Happy for him. Obviously, I want to see Nigerian players playing at the top divisions and doing well at the top divisions. But Smith Layi, what do you think of the goal and the performance from Paul Onuachu?
Yeah, for me, I know sometimes it's coming. In those previous games, they were trying to load the ball into the box just because of this advantage that Paul Onuachu have with his heights. But for me, I think there was an issue with his positioning. I think there's an issue with his positioning. I think that I think he's working on that, because when I saw the game against Nottingham Forest, I realized that he's now attacking those area balls very well now and getting into those dangerous positions. So for me, very good header and very good goal for him. If not because of Ola, they've got a draw, in that game. So for me, good performance. What I'm just really pleased is that the way he's now moving. It was different from the way he moved when he was playing against West Ham. It was different from the way he actually moved when he was playing those previous games. But I think the coach is now working on him now, how to position himself very well in the box, and I think he's going to get the rewards if he doesn't move in January.
But no, always nice to see. Strikers live, eat, breathe goals. And goals are such a big thing for a player's confidence. You know, when you've not scored for a while, you start to doubt yourself, you start to feel some type of way. So I was happy to see him back on the score sheet and again scoring his first Premier League goal. A good fit for him. And like you said, you know, positioning is better. He's now getting more opportunities in the air. And you know, I'm hoping that he can turn up. I'm hoping that he can turn up. Okay, that is that for Paul Onuachu. But in that same game, let's talk about Ola Aina. Man, I feel like at this point, maybe I should even stop talking about him every week because this is just his standard now. You know, it is not some one off. It is not some fluke. This is his standard. Ola I know is just a baller. Probably the best fullback in the Premier League this season. I know I'm biased, but I would say that, you know, but he has had a fantastic season. Nottingham Forest are having a fantastic season, has played at left back, has played at right back, continues to perform well, got an assist from a fantastic cross over the weekend. Again, that beautiful goal line clearance, you know, in the dying minutes of the game. Just an all-round baller. Just an all-round baller. And of course, we've heard about potentially a big move happening for him sometime, maybe this month, maybe in the summer. We don't know exactly what's going on there. But Smith, like, man, what else can you say about Ola Aina?
You know, I remember about a few years back, was it about 10 years ago, when they predicted, you know, the players, English player that will be playing at the World Cup in Qatar. You know, they were young guys then. So they mentioned Ola Aina. So that they get him to actually one of the best fullback in the Premier League. I think now he's now fulfilling his potential. So fantastic player. Some people still doubt him that the way he uses his leg. So for me, this guy is fantastic player. I don't know what else to actually would say about him. The guy can play as a left back, can play as a right back, can play as a even right central defender in the back three. You know, to put pressure on the opposition. Now, people are complaining about his crosses. He's now getting. In fact, it was his cross that brought Wood. You know, that goal against. Against Southampton. So for me, every criticism is turning everything to his strength. Fantastic performance from him, and I'm still going to say this thing: this guy is the best right back. You know, in the history of Nigerian football. People will argue, but I can tell you for
In
that
the
for free.
history of Nigerian football.
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask you this question. Who are some of the people that you think are potentially competing with him for that title?
The only person I can mention here is they call him the defense minister, Jisaji Shufoluwe. You know, he played from 84 to 88. Fantastic player, but you know, with due respect, football was still amateurish then. You know, you cannot really say much. For me, you know, I think Ola Aina is pretty ahead of.
Okay, so but when you are saying the best in Nigeria, let me just understand. You're talking based on overall performance or ability, not necessarily what he did with the national team.
Not necessarily.
Okay, just his overall ability and performance.
Yeah.
If Smith Layi says it, I mean, I will be inclined to agree because I know when it comes to the history of Nigerian football, Smith Layi has more knowledge than me on that side. Some people are saying, oh, yeah, somebody said Udeze, somebody said
I don't think how many years does they play for Nigeria? I don't think it's Chidodia. I think Chidodia had a good time with Nigeria, but for me, Ola Aina is just good. He's just too good. He's just too good.
No, he's a fantastic player, man. And like you rightly said, at this age, I think he's 28. He's coming into his peak. You know, and this is the time where you expect footballers to be hitting their peaks. You know, when between 27 and 30. So it's very interesting to see. And long may it continue, man. I'm rooting for Ola Aina. And I also want to say thank you to Ola Aina because he is proof, he is evidence that you can be a joker, you can be active on social media, and you can still be a baller on the field. Because whenever a Nigerian player is not performing, people will start blaming the fact that they are using social media. Somebody will get injured. People will say, oh, he plays too much on social media. I know I made a post yesterday that people felt was controversial. Some people in the comments are talking about Boniface, saying he uses social media too much. And I'm like, social media has nothing to do with anything. Players cannot train 24/7. It's simply impossible. They are human beings. They have to rest, if anything. You know, they cannot just spend every minute of their day watching and analyzing their matches to see how they can get better. They need to relax. They need to chill. They need to have fun. And I always tell people that at the end of the day, you don't actually know how much time somebody is spending on social media because you're not there. You know, if I decide to come online, I can make 20. If I'm just joking with my followers, I can make 30 tweets in 30 minutes. Doesn't mean that, oh, I spent a whole day on Twitter. No, but if somebody says it, they'll say, oh, you are playing too much, you're joking too much, you know. So I've never really understood it, and I'm happy that Ola Aina is proof, even though his jokes are usually on his snap. I don't know why he doesn't use it, he doesn't do all that, or maybe he looks at Instagram a bit more professional, you know, or something like that. But his jokes are usually on his snap. I always watch his snaps and I'm just laughing, and I'm like, after matches, he will come and he will still make jokes, you know, everything. It's such an interesting personality, and long may it continue. Long may it continue. Shout out to Ola Aina. Okay, let's move forward very quickly. I want to talk about Cyril Dessers.
Yeah.
Because Cyril Dessers, man, every time we start to hear rumors that Rangers are about to sell Dessers, Rangers are upset. Well, next thing my guy will play, will score 2 goals. So I used to go to Selby, you know, and this past weekend, 3 goals and 1 assist. I mean, I would acknowledge the fact that they were playing against a team that they should be beating comfortably. But still, for him to be able to get 3 goals and 1 assist, I think is something that's worthy of praise. It's hard enough to score a hat trick. He's not the first player that will play against a small team. Why didn't the other one score a hat trick? You know, and then to top it up with an assist as well. I also want to give him his props. But yes, so like, what did you think of Dessers over the weekend? 3 goals and 1 assist.
Good. You score against the opponent, you know, in front of you, and you know that's actually what he did, and he scored his hat trick towards the end of the game. You know, I think he even had an assist in that game.
3 goals and 1 assist.
3 goals and 1 assist. So, you know, fantastic performance from him. For me, I think he's one of the most intelligent Nigerian striker. But a lot of people don't know, maybe because he's not really strong. All these guys is very showcase. You know, normally show a lot of things on the pitch, but I think his positioning is top notch. If you watch him very well. Fantastic guy, intelligent guy, very learned guy, good guy. So, you know, and I've been seeing comments too that people have been criticizing him that, why is he scoring against a small team? Why can't he go and score in a competitive league? Why can't he go and score against a better position? What about your guys playing against Gosepe? This I'm just saying it, but it's just
okay. You brought it up, so let's get into it. Who is the Nigerian player that has played against those clubs? His name is Victor Osimhen. Let's get into the conversation. Osimhen scored this weekend against Hatayspor, and then he scored again today against Dynamo Kiev in the Europa League. But here's the catch. Penalties. Today he missed. If you look it up, they will say he missed 4 big chances. I'm going to be fair to him, and I'll say one of them was not so easy. So I'm going to say he missed 3 big chances today. Over the weekend against Hatayspor, let me just double check the statistics. Over the weekend against Hatayspor, he missed 3 big chances as well and scored a penalty. Statistics, you know, that's the one thing that they always say, that stats are like bikinis. They show you something, but they don't reveal everything. If you look at the statistics, he's banging in goals. But then if you actually watch the games, which I always encourage people to do, because a lot of people don't like to watch games, they just look at statistics. If you actually watch the games, you will see that in his past 6 goals, 5 of them have been penalty. So, like, should we be concerned, or is this just, you know, it's part of it? It happens. What do you say?
For me, I think it happened just like a poo patch, you know, like all these things, you know, it's just like a blip. I think it's going to get back, but it's just worrying, you know, because, you know, don't forget that when he went to Turkey, where these competitions at the start, he said he's going to score 20, is it?
It's 20, I said. Yeah.
Yes, he's going to score 20, he's going to bust the thing. But for me, I just think that he's playing against, with due respect, I don't know, maybe Belgian League is even... I don't know, maybe I think Belgian League is stronger. And I don't think Turkish League is as strong as the Belgian League. So if you are saying to is you know, is scoring those goals there, and you say the goals does not count. Well, for me too, I think what about somebody scoring penalty in the Turkish League too? So Victor is a good player, you know, fantastic player. You can't doubt about that. But you cannot say that he's in his best of form now. I think so. I think the league he went to reduce his level. So he reduce his level, and you know, you play. It's like just as if you can go and put you in a dumb class. You'll be behaving like a dumb person too now. Or what you see, you're the smartest out of all of them. people will be behaving that way too. I think the league he played is reducing his level. For me, I think it's pack his bag and get out of that place.
Okay. I just a point of correction for myself. I said I said he should score 20 before December or before January and 30 by the end of the season. We are currently in getting into the last days of January, and he has 15 in all competitions. So he has still not reached the mark that I had hoped for before 2024 ended. Let's see where it's going to end. And again, I would agree with you. Osimhen is undoubtedly a top player. He's a top striker. We cannot, anybody that is doubting Osimhen's ability is foolish. With all due respect to everybody, we can see it. We know the quality. He has shown it in the past. But I just think, some of these things need to be talked about, and he needs to just try to step it up, because some of the chances are not tough chances. You say the positive thing is that he has improved his penalty conversion. Statistically, yes. If you actually watch some of the penalties, the keeper gets a hand to it, but the ball still enters. Keeper nearly saves it, but he somehow squeezes in. It goes under the goalkeeper's hand. It's not like the penalties are great. Today's penalty was straight down the middle, good pen. But some of the penalties have also been like, just keeper a stronger hand and he would have saved it, things like that. Again, that's why I always tell people, watch, don't just look at numbers. But I mean, I think I would agree with you, man. I want him to get out of that league and let's see what he can do. I honestly want him to get out of that league. Let's see what he can do. Because again, somebody here said strikers are meant to miss chances. No doubt, every striker in the world misses chances. But again, Osimhen is the most profligate striker among the top strikers in the world this season.
Yeah.
This season, you can check the numbers of all the strikers that we consider to be top strikers in the world, from Haaland to Gyökeres to Nicholas Jackson, that Mikel Obi was bashing every week. Osimhen is the most wasteful. Osimhen has missed way more chances than Jackson. But somehow we were insulting Jackson for missing and saying Osimhen was the solution. But in Turkey, he's missing more, where the chances are supposed to be easier. Today, some of the chances that he missed were easy chances. And Nigerians, we have this tendency, or a lot of Nigerian fans have this tendency of insulting his teammates. When it was an Napoli, that's what used to happen. When they drop points, people will insult his teammates and say, oh, Mertens is selfish, Insigne is this one, is that one. Today, again, I've seen it. One of those journalists that fights for him on Twitter was talking about, their goalkeeper, why they conceding 3 goals. And I agree, it's not always on the striker, but at the same time, I think we need to hold people accountable when the person is missing, and if you miss 1, 2, we can allow it, but when you're missing 3, 4 high quality chances, even the headers that normally we know are bread and butter for Victor Osimhen, we know how good he is in the air. The only person that can compete with Osimhen in the air is Ronaldo. But even those headers now are not going in. I don't know what it is. The penalties are good because the penalties will keep him confident, will keep him going. He's not going to drop his head. If he wasn't scoring at all, it would be an issue. But the penalties are keeping him going. I just hope that more goals can come from open play, because all these things, analysts of different clubs, they're going to look at all these things. Even though we know that some teams are still interested in the services, I just think that, for us to be able to really, really put his name in those best in the world conversations. I remember when it was at Napoli that season, I used to argue with people that Osimhen is better than Vinicius Junior. I used to argue it, and people would be debating me, but I had good, I could make good points. I could actually make good points and say this is why. And because of how much knowledge of football I have and how much knowledge of these Nigerian players, I was able to actually convince some people that maybe, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Someone said you don't analyze the goals Tolu scores like this. Tolu is also not Victor Osimhen. That's the reality. Tolu is not Victor Osimhen. Osimhen is the biggest star we have. So, of course, he's going to get more attention. But we do talk about Tolu a lot on the podcast. We talk about him a lot. But again, he's not Victor Osimhen. But yeah, that's that on Victor. That's that on Victor. No, sorry, that's not that. Let me just add one more thing. Some people said, that maybe his intensity has dropped because he's played in Turkey. I disagree. I watch the games. Osimhen plays with the same passion, with the same fight, with the same drive that he has been playing with. His intensity has not gone. He's honestly, he's just not taking his chances. And it could just be a patch. and eventually things will change. But I just hope that it changes. It changes soon. Because if it goes to a league like England and is missing 3-4 chances every match, people are going to light fire under his bum. Hmm. But yeah, let us move on. Let us move on. And just speaking on games that happened today, Tuesday, the 21st, in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, we talk about Osimhen playing in the Europa League. In the Champions League, Nathan Teller featured for Bayer Leverkusen as they fell to a 2-1 defeat against Atletico de Madrid. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but man, it was a very interesting game. Red card early in the game for Atletico, red card for Leverkusen. Atletico came from 1 goal down to win that match. Very intense game. The good news was that Victor Boniface was back on the bench for Bayer Leverkusen. He didn't come on, but he is. It's good to see Victor Boniface on the bench. Of course, recovering from the injury, and maybe next this weekend in their league match, we'll be able to see him on the field. We'll be able to see him on the field. People as they say, oh, he's known for missing chances. Again, I don't want to keep on harping on this so that it's not like, oh, I'm just talking negative. But go and look at the numbers. Go and watch the games, and you will see that it is not the normal rate that he used to miss before. It's since he's missing a lot more chances. Like I said, he has missed more chances than any other top striker this season. And it's not like, oh, he has missed one more chance or he has missed two more chances. He's by far the most profligate striker this season among the top strikers of the top clubs. So it is just something to note. I don't want to keep going. Let it not be like, oh, I'm knocking him. I see Rash fire with Atleti. Fantastic game today with Atleti. Julian Alvarez, man. I'm talking about Nigerian players, but what a performance from him today. What a performance from him today. But yeah, Atletico. Shout out to Atletico. And shout out to Rash, man. That goal this past weekend as well. Okay, let's talk about our Nigerian team. Enyimba, the People's Elephants. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but Enyimba fell to a defeat against Zamalek in the CAF Confederations Cup that officially marked their exit from the competition. It was a very, I would say, man, the best word I can use to describe it is a bad performance from Enyimba. They fell to a 3-1 defeat. It just be like, say, their defense just be like Red Sea with them parts. Just, man, I don't know. It was just not a performance of a team that needs a win on enemy territory to qualify. They finished third in their group with 5 points from 6 matches with -4 goal difference ahead of Black Bulls from Mozambique. But it was not nice to see. But Smith, like, I'll ask you, Enyimba knocked out of the CAF Confederations Cup in the group stage. What do you have to say about that?
At least I have to keep my 100K. I told you guys. I told you guys in the last podcast that they will not do anything. They will not do anything. I've seen them from head to toe. This is the worst Enyimba team I've seen in many years. And shame on those in charge of the team. Shame on those that are the head of the team, and shame on those the people in charge there.
Who are the people in charge? Give us names. No, they say those.
And shame on those guys. So for me, I think they got it so wrong. And looking at Enyimba, arriving a day, of a game. Imagine Enyimba, that's so bad. For me, even in terms of the player quality too, I think that they got it wrong too. How can you be going to a season buying 23 players? signing 23 players. What do you expect?
Chelsea did it.
Signing 23
now.
Chelsea
did it.
No, I'm just like 23 players. Not Forest.
Not Forest did it, yeah.
Yes, they nearly got relegated. I remember they bought the only tennis and them, they nearly got relegated. So for me, I just think that they are not actually ready. And secondly, too, they are not even playing their home ground. When Enyimba had successes in the in CAF competitions, they used to play in Aba, their home ground. But unfortunately, the Aba pitch, I think they went to go and paint it green. I don't know, but it failed CAF. It failed CAF actually accreditation. So for me, I think that is bad. So the Enyimba defense just similar to Galatasaray defense too. They are one about you. But for me, I just think Enyimba played like a primary school team, and it was so horrible performance for them. For me, I think that they will not qualify for the continent this year. And so at least let's go and reset. Go back to the drawing board and go and look for how to actually get better. For me, they are not the Chelsea of Africa used to know.
Hmm. And I mean, it is sad. It is sad. I recently did an interview with a player that has played in the MPFL before and also played in North Africa. And I asked him the question, and I said, between Nigeria league and these other leagues, that which one has higher quality? He just replied me. He said, in the CAF competitions, what do you see? That was literally his reply. He said, in the CAF competitions, what do you see? And I couldn't say anything back, and as much as shout out to our Egbon Osinokun Akman, people like him always wanting to fight for the local league, always wanting to encourage people. The local league also needs to do more to encourage us, man, because people don't like to support a failing product. That's the reality. And right now, the product is not great. The product is not great. If you want people to spend their time, energy, money, man, they need to improve the product, man. Our one continental contender cannot be this bad. Cannot be this bad. And it's not even if they are now playing CAF Champions League, waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Because this is like playing Europa League and you cannot even leave now it's no longer groups, but still it's just not great. But let's hope that as they focus now on the league itself, maybe things can go.
And the Federations Cup.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe things can go well for them. Let's see how that goes. Shout out to all Enyimba fans. Keep supporting. Though, keep supporting.
Yeah.
You shouldn't abandon your team in a time of struggle. That's not how to be a fan.
Just a quick one, and another good news is that Nigeria will be presenting, will be having 4 slots again in the CAF, in the CAF competitions next year, because Mali did not take advantage of our bad performance this year. So Stade Mali did not take advantage. So we're still going to be having 4 teams, but we're on the verge of losing the 4 slots. If you go and check the CAF coefficients.
But having 4 teams going to qualifiers and only one qualifies, and then that one goes out in the group stage.
Yes, it doesn't matter. So
if you've watched my interview with Anayewala, that's what we spoke about. He said for Nigerian teams, we're struggling, we're fighting to qualify for the tournament, and that's success, the fact that you qualified. Whereas these other North African teams, their own goal at the start of the season is we must win the Champions League. It's not that we should qualify for continental football. I mean, I'm sure they make some additional income from qualifying for the tournaments, but man, we need to be more ambitious. This is a team that has done well in CAF Champions League and has won it in the past, and then now, Confederation stopped to leave the group. How the mighty are falling, man. How the mighty are falling. And this is an indication of across the board at the different levels of our football. It's not just even in the MPFL.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just hope that another thing is also selling your best players. So if you just perform well with these players, and before you know it, next season you have to go and recruit from amateur, go and recruit from roadside to go and play the MPFL. You saw those who actually won the league, they probably finished second. So that's another issue. The financial part of it, I think we have to look at it very well, because I'm hearing that there's actually a big exodus now from Raymond Stars FC. They might probably win the league. So how will they play in CAF competitions? So it's also a big problem we have to look at very well. I just hope that some of these guys running our football will be able to have a meeting with these guys and tell them exactly that we need to do well in these competitions. Now that the money it's a money spinning CAF Champions League now, we need to make money too in this CAF Champions League.
Okay, let us keep the conversation going. Let me just quickly take comments before we move on to the next segments. I can see somebody says Enyimba is not mighty, please, just a mediocre joke of a team. Again, that's why I said how the mighty are falling. Enyimba used to be mighty. Technically, they are still a big club, quote unquote, because of history. But they're just very, very much underperforming right now. Somebody says make them scrap MPF or make them start everything again. De Fatiga says these guys are just walking through Enyimba defense like easy. Kemita said, I can't believe I believed in them. That was match fixing. So yeah, it was a very bad defensive display, man. It was not good at all. I was watching the game. In fact, I was even trying to show the game to people, but it was a depressing match. Okay, but let's move on to transfer talk. We have some rumors. We have some confirmed transfers. I'll start with one rumor. A player that had a good performance for his club this past weekend with a goal and assist, Bruno Oyemaechi, has been linked with a move to Olympiacos, the storied Greek club, Olympiacos. We also heard that there were rumors of, or there was interest from Trabzonspor in Turkey, but he decided to go to Olympiacos because they are playing in continental competition and he wants to be able to play in Europe. Whereas Trabzonspor are struggling in Turkey, honestly. But nothing confirmed yet, nothing official. It's just talk. Smith Layi, do you think this would be a good step for Bruno Yemenchi to join Olympiacos in Greece?
I think it's a bigger step. He's going to be competing to actually to win the league. He's going to be compared to playing for Boavista in the in the Turkish in the Portuguese league that you expect them to lose nearly every weekend. So it's at least the winning mentality will go over there. He's going to a different country and he's going to be playing in the what's it called in the UEFA
Europa League.
Champions League. Or Europa League, maybe probably Europa League now. So
I
for
mean,
me,
Europa League this season,
this is
but of course, they are currently top of their league. So if they win their
yes.
league, Champions
It could
League.
be Champions League next year. So for me, I think it's a very good move for him. Last player that played for Olympiacos, being a Nigerian player, was actually Enyimba. He's now like working in Saudi Arabia now. I don't know what he's playing there, but I just hope that when he goes there, he will actually perform. For me, I think is for him to just go there and compete to win the league alone is good enough for Nigeria.
And I will just give people context. Based on the UEFA country coefficient rankings, Portugal is the seventh best league in Europe, and Greece is the 13th best league in Europe. So if you look at it just based on the league, it's a step down. The Greek league is not as strong as the Portuguese league. We know this. The best Portuguese teams, the Sportings, are better than the best Greek teams. But again, the difference is that he's been playing for Boavista. And Boavista is a team that is struggling. In fact, one of the reasons why they're trying to get rid of all their players now is financial issues. They're a team that is, fighting relegation every season. They're not competing. Whereas Olympiacos is a team with ambition, a team that is fighting to win their league every season, a team that is competing in Europe nearly every season. So, of course, that is going to give him more exposure. That's going to give him more opportunities, more chance for him to keep getting called up to the Super Eagles, and also more opportunity for him to potentially go to a bigger team in the future. And like some people have pointed out, rightly so, Olympiacos are not Forest share and owner. So who knows if he balls out for Olympiacos enough, maybe Evangelist or some I've forgotten his name, but the owner of the two clubs, maybe he can just say, okay, let me bring this guy to Forest and see what he can do, and then always sudden in 2 years he's in the Prem. So overall, I think I'll probably rate this move like a 6.5 out of 10. I think it is a better club to be playing for. But at the same time, it is a lower league, so I'm just going to use that to factor into the equation. That's why it's landing for me at a 6.5 out of 10. But again, nothing.
Okay.
The rank of Turkey, Turkey is 10 in Europe.
And Belgium is what?
Belgium is 8. Belgium is 8, Turkey is 10. So yeah, for Bruno Yemenchi, I think overall, I'm happy to see him potentially join a team that competes because that's a very important thing. But hopefully, that's only a stepping stone for him to get into bigger places in the future. But yes, Milai, what would you rank or rate this 1 to 10?
For me, I think 8 out of 10 because it's a big, 8 out of 10 is a big move for him because we all know Olympiacos. It's just like when you interview Naija Ewala, said that winning the Nigerian league is not the major problem. It's about competing in Africa. And Olympiacos too, winning the Greek league is not a major problem for them. I think the issue with them is just competing in Europe. When they bought Onyekuru too, they said that they bought him. Now, I was reading the comments from a journalist there. He was saying that they bought him for the UEFA Champions League. Unfortunately, he didn't even do well in the league. So, so for me, I just think that it's a good move for Bruno, and at least that winning mentality is going to be there. When you're going to a game, trying to win all the time, it's going to be there. And for you to be going to a game and thinking that you're going to lose, so for me, good. And I think that if you perform very well there, you can, yes, like you said, it can either go well or go bad for him. He can get a move to a topper league, and if he didn't do well there too, he can also get loaned to maybe Iraqis. I mean, so it's two ways. Yes, it's two ways.
But Yeah, we wish him all the best, and we'll be waiting for official confirmation if the transfer does eventually go through. Right now, still a rumor. I will say that. Okay, another player that has been linked with a move away from his club in this January is Cyril Dessers, who we spoke about. You know, like I said, every time that Dessers leaving link starts getting stronger and stronger, he scores a few more goals. We've heard that a team like Cagliari in Italy are interested in him. We've heard that CD Leganes in Spain are interested in him. Smith Layi, other than the fact that he's been getting quite a lot of criticism from Rangers fans, do you think Cyril Dessers should make a move, or should he stay at Rangers and keep on competing and fighting for his shirt? What do you think?
I think he needs to. I think he needs to move. For me, I think he just needs to move. I think, but it's just so. I don't know. I just think he needs to move. I think Italian Serie A might be a very good destination for him. I know I'm hearing about Bologna, Cagliari, in those Italian Serie A, and also Brest too in in France. So I think he just needs to move. He needs to be a top striker, and I think that just need to get a coach that believes in the way he plays, and if he gets that type of coach, I think he's going to actually function for him very well. For me, I think he needs to move. He can't just be 27. I mean, how old is he now? 30.
30.
30 on a guy that just came back from Morocco, benching you. I think no, he needs to leave.
Fair
The
point.
quality is there.
The quality is there. He's at his getting towards the later stages of his career. I mean, we've seen Dessers do it in Netherlands in the past. We've seen him do it in the Europa League as well in the past. I don't know. Maybe the thing with Dessers, the reason why he gets a lot of criticism is because of the chances that he misses. Some of the time people feel like he's missing too many easy chances and things like that. But he's definitely a good football player, and I just think that wherever he lands, hopefully he's able to land on his feet and he's able to do well. I would say probably Bologna is better than Cagliari, better than Brest. Brest is a good team, to be fair, so I wouldn't say better than Brest. But better than Cagliari, I think. Better than Leganes. All due respect to Leganes, but Leganes is a team that you're going there to struggle with them. For a striker, you might not score that many goals over there. But let's see where he lands, man. Shout out to Cyril Dessers, 3 goals and an assist over the weekend, and hopefully he's able to get some more goals when he does play, because right now he's their second choice striker, behind the guy that you mentioned from Morocco. Okay, let's move on to another Nigerian player, Super Eagles again. Super Eagles player that has been linked with a move away from his club. I'm talking about this time senior man Kelechi Iheanacho. Of course, we've heard for a number of weeks now that these people at Sevilla have kind of just taken their L, and they've said, it's not working out. The relationship is not going the way they wanted it to, and they are looking on to move him to somewhere else. And then now he's been linked with a return to England, with Leeds United potentially looking at signing him on loan, as well as some other teams that are interested here and there. Leeds, of course, playing in the AFL Championship, looking to get promoted. Smith Layi, do you think that would be a good move for Iheanacho, or which other clubs do you think that are potentially interested in him should he be looking at?
Saudi clubs are interested in him. Saudi clubs are interested in him. For me, see, the issue is this, and then you always say this thing. Maybe people don't listen to you. When you see a player constantly getting out of shape, I'm like to you, he can recover, but if it's happening on a regular basis, it's going to get to a stage that you might lose it, completely. I can tell you. For me, I think right from I told you, AyoT, when he played against Liverpool in preseason, he told me that he's preseason now. Come on, he's still recover. I said, this guy, see today, he will not recover. I was telling you that day, that Liverpool game against in preseason when he was playing, it was in Anfield. I told you. See, the issue is this. I don't know, maybe I have the high, but I just know that I know he's already run his race in Sevilla, and they're already giving up on him. So Leeds might be a good move, but for me, I don't think he will even do well in Leeds. I think his level is dropping exponentially. So I think that if I'm to advise him, I think he should just close eye, go Saudi.
It's a bit sad because, again, let's not forget that Iheanacho was the star boy of his time as a young player,
Yeah.
signed for Manchester City, because special talent is what allowed him to play for Man City. Looked like at some point it was Nigeria's number 9. It
Mm-hmm.
was our top
Yeah.
striker.
Yeah.
Before Igalo came and bounced him, he was the one that was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we didn't see things turning out the way they've turned out, from
Mm-hmm.
playing for City, trying to develop, going to Leicester, being a bench player, going to the Championship, not even doing well, going to Sevilla, not doing well, and now people like Smith Layi are talking about going to Saudi. If he goes to Saudi, that means he has given up, And I don't know, how much fight he still has in him, but it's not a good thing to see. And this is something that, with all due respect to everybody, we see it with quite a number of Nigerian players, where the club that are supposed to end their careers is where they start, and the club that
Mm-hmm.
are supposed to start is where they end. From Man City to Leicester to Sevilla,
Mm-hmm.
and then now potentially Leeds or Saudi, is just downward slope.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if somebody started at Leeds, they went to Leicester, they went to Sevilla, went to Leicester, and finished at Man City, upward
Mm-hmm.
trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens with a lot of our
Mm-hmm.
players, the ones that start at the top clubs. With
Mm-hmm.
all due respect to my friend Kelechi Iheanacho, Arsenal, and then now is playing in the League One.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's interesting because it's opposite for the women. The
Mm-hmm.
women usually struggle to make it out of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Then they will probably make it to some Eastern European team,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will now go up like that. You see the Inadoziers, the Uchebes, the Ajibades, started from small teams and then now have got to the top of their game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
of course, the men, their success stories like Victor Osimhen, even though now his Osimhen's one has been like,
Mm-hmm.
but hopefully he's going back up with Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, any of those teams. But I wish Kelechi Iheanacho all the best, man. A senior man is a player that I like. I've defended him so much in the past. I always tell people that he is one of the most technical players in the
Mm-hmm.
national team. Just his natural ability is obvious. If you can watch football and you can see talent, you can see the natural ability there. But the reality of it is that at the highest level of football, everybody's talented. That's
Mm-hmm.
the reality. Talent is different levels, but everybody's talented. There's so many other things that happen behind the scenes to help you to perform consistently at the top level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that those things are not happening for him. I'm not with him. I don't know. I don't see it. But from the outside looking in, as a fan, it's just not something that is nice to see. I hope
Yeah.
whatever move that he makes, I hope it is a move that works out well for him. And if he goes to Leeds, he can be playing in Prem next season. Who knows? Um, you know. So let's hope that things can work out for Kelechi Iheanacho. I'm still
Yeah.
a fan, Kelechi. I'm still
Yeah.
a fan.
I'm a fan, so I just hope that he works, he gets himself. But so I don't want the conversation of Super Eagles. That's the reason why I'm just saying this. And I want to ask you this question, AyoT. Looking back, because let's be honest ourselves now. Kelechi is close to the end of his career. Looking back now, can you pick one season? Is that he was the number one striker for a club throughout his career?
Well, not really, no. It's always been at Man City. He was fighting to develop, and at Leicester, I mean, Jamie Vardy has always been there.
For him not to get to this Sevilla team, that's a bad signal.
Hmm.
I can tell you. For
Be-
him not to get to this Sevilla team, and they are
because
playing.
Sevilla bought him to be their number one. They signed him as the highest paid player in their club,
Mm-hmm.
so they signed him to be their number one striker. But
Mm-hmm.
sadly, things have just not quite
Mm-hmm.
worked out. We don't know what is going on behind the scenes. We don't know, but things have just not quite worked out for him. Um, Currently, market value of 5 million. In 2021, his market value was 20 million, his highest ever.
Mm.
So obviously, things have not gone the way we wanted it to go. And
Remember
like
that
somebody
people are
mentioned
telling,
that 2021 season was probably his best ever season.
yeah,
Huh?
I agree with that.
What were you going to say?
No, I was trying to see that sometimes people are saying that you should go. Man City wanted to buy him back from Leicester. I was saying no, it will not happen. For somebody that was doing well during that COVID year, the soap matter, and he was scoring every week, every day of the week. Vardy wasn't scoring. That was his best season actually. but now I think it needs like a restart button.
That year he scored 12 goals in the league, 4 goals in the FA Cup, 3 goals in the Europa League. He was on fire that year, but the fire died out the following year.
Yeah.
But okay, let's move on from Kelechi Iheanacho. I wish you all the best. Let's talk about a young defender who, see, whenever people argue with me sometimes, I like debating football, so I engage, and you guys are my audience, so I always like to enjoy the back and forth. But sometimes it pisses me off that you guys argue with me, because I'll take the words of Colin Coward. I don't know if you are in the US, you probably know him. Even though I'm right 95% of the time, people still argue with me. It blows my mind. Anybody I challenge anybody that is watching us now and listening to us, tell me either 2 projections that I've made, or 2 players that I've spoken about and I've said maybe great things about them, or I said not so great things about them, and I ended up being wrong. I challenge anybody, if you can give me 2, in fact, even give me 1, that like, oh, clearly I was wrong on what I said about this thing or this player. Because no matter how many times I'm right, people still argue. This is another time that I was right, and I'm happy to be right about this one. I'm talking about Vince Osuji, young player for Kalma FF. If you've been watching the podcast, I've mentioned him a couple of times, and I've told people this is someone that you should pay attention to, because he is quality and he will be on the move in the near future. And now we are hearing that he's on the verge of completing a 3 million euro move to Club Brugge in the Belgian league. In the summer, KRC Genk were actually interested in him, but that move did not happen. And now, he's on the verge of joining Club Brugge. Young defender, composed, solid, can make tackles, can read the game well, and can also try his hardest to contribute in attack for his team. If you've not watched him, try watching, maybe after this move, try watching a couple Club Brugge games. He's going to, of course, if he joins Club Brugge, or when he joins Club Brugge, he's going to be teaming up with Rafael Onyedika, who looks like he's probably staying at least this January. But I think it's a very good step for him moving on to Belgium. We know that Belgium is a very developmental league. From Sweden to Belgium, again, the ones that start at small clubs tend to have a better chance of rising up, and having the right projection. From Sweden, now he's on the way to Belgium, and then Belgium is a very developmental league. If he does well there, we can see him in France, Spain, Germany, Italy, any of those leagues in a couple years. Smith Layi, what do you have to say about this move? Vince Osuji to Club Brugge.
Like, I remember the first time you posted his what's it called? His stats, on the good striker. He said 9 clearances. I remember that game. 9 clearances. That you came online to just tell us how good this guy is. Fantastic player, and he's a guy that I privileged to know him in his early days as Nigerian under-17 player. He was part of like the COVID under-17 that did not really materialize. So fantastic player, a good ball play defender. He was Bologna. They were trying to get him to replace Califiori, but I think his minders wanted a developmental league that can make him settle well in Europe. So I think he chose the Belgian league ahead of the French league, the Spanish league, and also the entire Serie A. In fact, even Chelsea said, there was a scout that Chelsea wanted to get him and loan him to Strasbourg, in what's it called, in the French league. So for me, I'm really, really confident about him. Now that he's going to Club Brugge in Belgium, that means that he will not be part of the Nigerian 20 team because because of this engagement now. But I'm happy about him. And I tip him to replace William Troost-Ekong, in the nearest future. And I also want to warn him too, because I remember a player that was also very good for Nigeria in the underage and also did well, for that under 20 Benjamin Fredericks. I thought he should be part of the Brentford team now, but due to one thing or the other, he's not been, he stayed there in their second team. So I just hope that he will not be carried away about this success. He will not be carried away about that he's now a big player of 3 million euros. So I think that he will actually do well there. Club Brugge, he will play there, and I think he can progress.
And at only At only 18 years old.
Yes.
The sky is the
18.
limit.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
18 years old. The sky is the limit.
So I'm hearing that he has passed his medical.
So
So
all we're waiting for now is official confirmation.
official confirmation. Yes.
No, shout out to Vince Osuji. I've told those that were willing to hear, I've been telling them, now we are seeing it come to fruition. You know, I'm just thinking back. I remember the first time I told people about Frank Onyeka. I remember people were asking me, oh, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? By the time he was in Brentford, people say, this is the guy you're talking about. I told people about HUK. I told people about so many different players, and to God be the glory. I'm right 95% of the time. So I encourage you guys to stop arguing with me. When I talk, listen and learn. And the ones that I said, I'm not sure about, I don't want to name names. We saw how those ones turned out. You know, I don't like being right about the negative aspects, but I love being right about the positive aspect. Shout out to Vince Osuji. Waiting for the official confirmation. I will be cheering you on. Onyedika is a player that I like, so I already watch Club Brugge every week. I mean, not every week, but I watch them often. You know, and of course, I'll be watching you. I'll make sure I tune in for his debut at least, for sure. So yes, go and check him out if you haven't seen him before. If you guys want me to do a compilation of him, I can do that and I'll post on our Patreon. Not everybody, a lot of people are not yet subscribed to the Patreon. So if you want to watch it, you can subscribe to the Patreon. It costs a cup of coffee a month. That's a little way that you can support the contents that we create as well. Patreon.com/EagleStracker.ng. Thank you very much. Okay, let us move on. Our star player, Victor James Osimhen, despite the not so great season that he's having in a not so great league, is still the subject of transfer interest because we know how good he is. You know, even though his performances might have dropped, we know how good he is. So we're hearing that Arsenal and Manchester United have both made contact with Galatasaray over the potential signing of Victor Osimhen. We've also heard that Napoli have told United that they are willing to lower his price if United is going to cooperate with them and give them Alejandro Garnacho to join. So between Arsenal and United, Smith Layi, what do you think would be a better move for Victor Osimhen if something is going to happen?
For me, I think it's going to be Arsenal, but I think Arsenal will need to actually adjust the way they play to suit Victor Osimhen. And if I'm to pick, there's only one obvious choice of Arsenal because United is battling relegation now. Imagine, Onana being your teammate, and what I've been doing this is I think that for United to, I don't think Victor Osimhen will be part of the rebuilding project in United. I don't think so. And that rebuilding is going to be like, hey, I don't know how that rebuilding, like a caterpillar, you have to clear everything. So for me, I don't think age is really on his side. So I think the Arsenal project will suit him. I know that Arsenal are looking at getting Cunha from Wolves too. They're looking at that. But for me, I think Arsenal is the better option for him. But he needs to start scoring those opportunities if Arsenal comes to Arsenal. Because Gary Neville, and Gary Gallagher, we actually we come for him. And what's it called? There's one guy too, that's the former Arsenal player. Is he Pierce?
Ian Wright.
No. The guy that Messi.
Paul Merson.
It's Paul Merson, yeah. Paul Merson, yeah. They actually those are the people that their amount are not really good, so they will come for him.
Even
if we
this guy always annoys me when I hear him talking. Tim Sherwood.
Okay, Tim Sherwood.
It always annoys me when I hear him talking because I'm like, brother, we saw you as a coach. Nobody say when you the coach, you do so well, but he's so critical of people sometimes, and the way he just talks, And Adebayo too will finish him because whenever they call Adebayo to come and join these programs, Adebayo always so straightforward. I always like hearing him because he doesn't sugarcoat things. He says it how he sees it.
Yes.
But I think I would also agree. Arsenal is obviously the better choice. United right now is a very struggling team.
Can you just add Chelsea there too, please?
Yeah. Chelsea.
Has Chelsea, yes, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if Chelsea are looking to sign Osimhen for the fee that Napoli would want plus Osimhen's wages.
No, I think the wages is the problem, and not the fee.
I think both. If the fees were less, they will be more likely to pay those wages. Because at the end of the day, they look at the total amount of money. You know, same thing. If the wages were less, they'll be more likely to pay a higher fee. So it kind of works hand in hand. You know, and again, when they are saying you missing more chances than Jackson, they'll probably be looking at it that maybe just stick with the one way we get. You know, where are we going to stress? Because that's the like Chelsea fans always pick on Jackson. See, maybe I'll start another page to talk about global football because I watch global football as much as I watch Nigerian football. And when the way Chelsea fans speak on Jackson, he's always missing, always missing, always missing. Mikel will say Jackson is always missing. Sign somebody like Osimhen, but then Osimhen is missing 2 times the number of chances. So it's like it's crazy. But so me, I'm not even looking at Chelsea right now. I'm thinking Arsenal, Man U. I think he should go to Arsenal. Obviously, a chance to compete. I mean, let's be serious. He'll probably finish second. Arsenal is not winning the Premier League, but at least a chance to just think that you can win the league is good enough, you know, rather than going to Man U that is 15th in the league. And again, just another side conversation about global football. I'm not of the opinion, like I'll be honest, I don't think that the Manchester United players are just all terrible. I know that they are going through a rebuilding process, but I don't believe that they are just all terrible players. I believe that there are some players that are not great. I believe that there are some players that need to leave. But I also think that they don't have a coach that is adaptable and that is making it work. I don't want to deviate too much, but we cannot keep like the way fans are so quick to pick on players. It pisses me off. The same way people are picking on Jackson, but they will not look at what Enzo Maresca is doing wrong and how a team can just be conceding and bottling every game. Play well in the first half, come out second half, have a terrible game. They will say, "Oh, but he missed 2 chances." Every striker in the world misses chances. It's the same way Manchester United. You cannot come as a new coach and be doing worse than the coach that they sacked before you, and everybody will just be saying, "Oh, the players are bad." Like you, obviously, as the coach, you are not good because those are the same players before you got there. You were supposed to come and at least steady the ship or make them better. You get them worse, and then you tell me, "Oh, that all the players are just so bad." It annoys me sometimes the way people just pick on players and then be fighting for coaches. Yes, I know he did well at Sporting, you know, the United coach, but this is not Sporting. This is Manchester United. You got to step up your level, bro. And if you say, "Oh, the players that you have are not players that can play your style of play," then you play a style of play that they can play. You have to use the tools that you have to achieve the results that are supposed to get. You cannot just keep on bashing players and saying that they're not good enough. Oh, this is probably the worst team in the history of the club, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing as a coach? You're probably the worst manager in the history of the club based on your results. Well, let me not get into Man U talk. Osimhen should go to Arsenal. As much as I've said it in the past that I don't want Osimhen to join Arsenal because I think he can put them over the edge, I still believe that no matter how good Osimhen is, Arsenal have that bottling spirit in them. That bottling spirit is stronger than Osimhen's ability. Liverpool will win the league this year. Arsenal will come second. Next year they will come second again. The year after that they'll come second again. They will not win the league. Okay, but yeah, shout out to Victor Osimhen. Let's see where he ends up if at all he makes a move this January. We know that for sure in the summer at the very least, at the latest, he's going to make a move. He's not going to stay in Galatasaray. So yeah, shout out to him. Okay, let's move on to 2 confirmed transfers. Actually, there's been more than 2 transfers that have been confirmed recently. So let me just take a couple of them. We had David Ankeye joining Rapid Bucharesti on loan. David Ankeye, young striker, was playing for Genoa, hasn't been able to get much game time, and has now joined Rapid Bucharesti in Romania on loan for the rest of the season. Hopefully, he can do well over there. We also had on the women's side, Favor Emmanuel. Favor Emmanuel has joined San Diego Wave FC in the USA NWSL. Of course, she's going to be teaming up with Chiamaka Kuchuku, who just joined them the week before. So I don't know what San Diego Wave are cooking, but they have 2 Nigerian players on their books right now. And I already watched the NWSL because of the likes of Alozie, Nico Payne, you know, and the rest of them. It means that I'm going to be watching more NWSL football this next season. With, of course, these 2 new Nigerian players in the team. They are coached by Landon Donovan, USA football legend, you know, so they are trying to build something. They have a lot of young players. Unfortunately, they are losing their best player, the defender, Naomi Girma. We just heard that she's joining Chelsea, you know, fantastic young player. They're losing her, but of course, they are bolstering up their squad with all these signings. And let's see how it goes for them in the league. Last season they finished 10th in the league. They didn't make the playoffs, so it wasn't a good season for them. And then now they're trying to come back. Favor Emmanuel, of course, is a midfielder. She's a defensive midfielder. She has joined them on a 2-year deal, and you know, hopefully she's able to do well. Smith, do you have anything to say about that favor Emmanuel to San Diego?
No, good. Good. Like it's good that the guys actually were getting moves abroad now and trying to play in like a more competitive league. I just hope that they will not be consumed about the environmental pressure and also the demand of proper senior football. I just hope that they can actually be able to ease them, without pressure, and make sure that they actually settle in very well. That's the most important thing, because sometimes when young players travel out of the country, the pressure from the environment and everything sometimes can actually unsettle them, and family pressures too. So I just hope that they can actually overcome them and perform well. I wish them the very best of luck. Good move.
No, yeah. And I mean, just for context, Favor Emmanuel is joining them from Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia. She played for Lokomotiv Moscow last season, teammate of Francis Kardec at that time.
Yeah.
She made 20 appearances, she scored 1 goal, so she's a decent player. And of course, playing in this league now in the USA is going to give her even more visibility, more exposure, and hopefully, more opportunities to come in the future.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for her. You guys know I'm a fan of Nigerian female players, So the fact that we are now getting more and more female players playing in the top leagues around the world, it makes me so happy. It's something that I love to see. And speaking on that note, another player, Super Falcons player, Blessing Unkor. If you don't know her, she made her debut against France. Blessing Unkor has joined Deportivo Abanca in the Spanish Liga F. Also looking forward to seeing how that one goes for her. She joined them from Pyramids in Egypt. Last season, she scored 12 goals for Pyramids, and she's of course going to be hoping that she can get a good number of goals over there in Spain. Deportivo Abanca is not, it's not one of the top teams in Spain, so it's not going to be the easiest. It's not going to be the easiest, but let's see how it goes. Playing in a top league is never a bad thing, and hopefully this is a step that can help her to get more opportunities in the future. But yeah, rooting for her. Spinda, do you want to say something about that? Let's not go to
Good move. Pyramid to Liga F is actually a very good move, and I wish her all the best too. They are 14th on the league table, ahead of Valencia and Levante, and they are 3 points ahead.
16 teams.
So they are badly relegation. So it's not the best of conditions to actually join the team, but I wish I had the very best. It's now for her to try and save the team and stay in that league for next season, or try and score like a couple of goals and maybe get signed by a top a better team, maybe to replace that when she gets Barcelona. So what surprised me in that league is that Levante, despite how good they are battling relegation. So but I just I wish her the very best of luck to she not a top team, but it's not a bad place to start in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, from Egypt to Spain, the first division in Spain. Yeah. It's a good step up. It's a good step up for her. Wishing her all the best. I'll be watching her games for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when there's you visit Spain now, at least you have so many contingents to visit.
Another player that I can visit to Spain.
Another player, yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So we're going to a topic that is a bit negative, or not a bit, very negative. It's not something that we want to see. It's not something that we want to hear. But we talk about things on Nigerian Football podcast. Excuse me. So we're going to talk about this. One of our own players has been the subject of negative reports. A player that's currently injured, but now we're hearing that could potentially be facing a lengthy ban if found guilty. I'm talking about our Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye. If you haven't seen it, it's been in the news recently that there's potential, betting that happened, or the investigators found that in one of his matches, an unusual amount of money was placed on him to get booked in that game. And he did get booked in that game. So now they are investigating the possibility that it was the only way to put it, a match fixing scenario. Because if you intentionally agree to get a yellow card for betting purposes, there's no other name to call it except match fixing. I when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this player is going through enough already from people from Nigeria, France,
Mm-hmm.
injury. I'm like, he's going through enough. I really like. I pray so much to God that it is not true. I pray so much to God that it did not happen. I pray so much to God that he did not do it intentionally. I pray so much to God that they are not able to find any link between the people that placed the bets and him. I pray so much to God that this is just a misunderstanding, this is just a conspiracy, this is just a mistake, or maybe it was another name and maybe it was a Caleb Okoli and they thought it was Maduka or something. I just pray so much to God that this is not real, because if he does get banned, this Super Eagles that we've been talking about, after he's been having a good time for Udinese, just be the worst thing that can happen at the worst possible time for him. And of course, I don't know how he's going to look for him, even with potential opportunities in the future. To be fair, I mean, look at Tonali. Tonali is balling for Newcastle, so hey, he's not the biggest guy in the world. And I would also say, I gamble. I've promoted gambling companies in the past on my platform, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, oh, everybody should be gambling, things like that. But again, in certain professions, there are certain rules and regulations that you need to follow, and it's not news to us. We know that footballers are not allowed to either gamble themselves or to collaborate with people, whatever the case that comes to gambling. I've been in certain positions in the past whereby, because of my relationship with certain players, maybe a month before they move to a new club, the player has told me that he's joining that club.
Mm-hmm.
I can decide to go and carry my life savings and go and bet that, just imagine maybe I'm friends with Osimhen and Osimhen has told me he's joining Chelsea. I can go and carry on my life savings and place bets. Osimhen will sign for Chelsea. But then people obviously have to, if you are close to footballers,
Mm-hmm.
you have to also have the wherewithal that your actions can put them in trouble. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I always say, like, people need to surround themselves with people that are looking out for them and their
Mm-hmm.
own best interest. Not because you want to make a quick buck, you can put a player that is your friend in potential trouble. I just want to believe that this has to be some kind of mistake. Somebody said it's because he's black. I disagree. It's not because he's black. Tonali was not black when they investigated him. It has happened to several people in the past. Gambling is something that is so promoted, it is so pushed in our faces. Some people are addicted to it. It's a problem for some people, So I'm not going to go as far as say it's a racist attack or anything like that. I just pray that it comes out that he's clean. It comes out that it was some kind of mistake, some kind of misunderstanding, and there's no punishment that he has to face. If it does turn out that he did it, I pray for the utmost leniency that they can give him, so that he can get back on the field as quick as possible. But yeah, Smith, like, what do you have to say about this thing?
No, it's just sad, It's so sad, One of the worst, news. When I saw the news, I thought it was like a rumor. I thought that maybe probably some people just trying to generate content, but it's a sad thing, And what even makes me like, this thing is likely because for a goalkeeper to get booked, you're not
Is
a
is
defensive midfielder.
is always is the only two ways is either you concede a penalty or you waste time.
Yes,
Those are the two ways that keepers usually get booked.
yes, because until you waste time, except the go and I remember the one for what's that guy, the guy in West Ham. That one was
Paqueta.
Paqueta. That one was so obvious. He went there to just clear the ball, and that one was obvious. So I just hope Maduka get out of this thing. They say went to the market in January already to sign the
To sign the
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper, yeah.
Hearing that it's like they want to remove his name from the registered players for so the end of the season. It's sad. It's sad. I just hope that a magic somewhere will just happen, because the way I'm looking at it might probably be fine guilty, of this issue. I'm just looking at maybe the magic somewhere can come, and I hope that he can actually was, find himself. But for him too, I don't know how much. If it's true, I don't know how much. Maybe he was being cornered. I don't know what led him to that type of thing, because imagine, I don't know, I'm not promoting gambling, but It's your work, It's your work. If it's corner kick now, there's no way they can get that one. You won't go and get the booking. And no. For me, I just hope that it can actually recover, but it's not looking likely, And for someone that is already having issues domestically, having issues with
Having
Nigerians, having
issues in private life too.
yes, everything issues. I just hope that this thing will not consume this guy. I pray for him and I wish him the very, very best of luck. Udinese might decide to take him off their list. But for me, I just think that if he got too much setback in his life already, this is not just it. I think he will recover. I wish him luck.
I wish him all the best. And people that are asking about length of ban, I mean, 4 years is the maximum length that can come with it. The reality of it is that usually, if the player accepts guilt, apologizes, and then he has good defense lawyers, the ban will probably get reduced. But if you try to fight it and then they still find you guilty, that's when they might want to give you a serious punishment because you didn't play along. But typically, if you're able to say, okay, I hold my hands up, I did it, I'm sorry. If it was not too it was not too grievous an offense. It's not like you went to go and score one goal or something. So they can forgive you a little bit and just say, okay, maybe 1 year or 1.5 years, that type of thing. But I really, really hope that the news comes out that it was a misunderstanding and it was a mistake or something. I really hope so. Maybe it was just one day, one guy that had just have too much money. He just went to go and make a good gamble and it's paid off. Let's just hope that it was something like that and not that he actually connived with the footballer because it's not a good thing. I don't like to hear or see our Nigerian players in this kind of news. It's not a good thing at all, and it also doesn't help our reputation either. But yeah, that is that on that. I don't want to get into it too much. But I see people are saying, somebody said village people at work, somebody said it's just sad. Shout out to Amos Footballers Connect. Sports Global said maybe 18 months. Tonali got 1 year, yeah. Somebody said he's cooked. I really hope that he's not cooked. Somebody said just like Ivan Tony, yes, just like Ivan Tony. We saw how long was Tony's ban?
1 year.
1 year. So let's hope that it's not true. And if it is true, let's hope for the utmost leniency from the governing bodies. Yeah. Somebody said, I bet almost every weekend that Osimhen will score, and I do win, so it can be the other way around. Do you place like crazy? Because again, it's different. If they have the analytics for all these things. Maybe usually the total amount of money that people usually place on you to get booked in a week is like 1,000 euros from all the different people, and then suddenly one particular week there is 1 million worth of bets placed on your head, and you now go and get it. And maybe that's the first time you are getting booked in the last 10 matches or something crazy like that. That's when it's raise red flags to people. They have systems that are in place to catch these things. They're not just guessing when they say something like this. But again, I hope it's not true. I hope it didn't happen. But let's wait and see what news we hear from that. Okay, we're into the final 3 topics for today's show, and then we'll give people a chance to come and share their thoughts on all the different topics that we've discussed. Now we're getting into talk about or around the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll start with words from our legend, Jay Okocha, who spoke about the new appointment of the coach, spoke about the NFF, and I'll just read some excerpts from his interview that he did with The Guardian. So one of the things that Jay Okocha said was that the Super Eagles may not win any trophy until the current NFF officials are dissolved or removed. He said, appoint new officials who know more about football, who have interest in football, who love football, whose lifestyle represents football. You can't appoint politicians to manage football. They will turn it to politics, and that is what is happening today. We have the best players in the world, yet we have no trophy to lay our hands. Not because of the players, absolutely not. When you change a coach, you have changed a dream, a vision, a mission. In short, you have changed a generation. Changing of a coach isn't just as it sounds to the ear, it is harmful to the players. They will lose focus, except the players on their own demand for a better coach. Before you consider changing a coach, get some key players and interview them. seek their opinion because most of the players' performance is based on the good relationship they share with their coach. And he said he owes the NFF no apology. If their decision is taking me to court, so be it. We can't continue to keep quiet while things continue to spoil. So, Smith Layi, I'll throw this at you. Do you agree with the words of the legend Jay Okocha that we have politicians running our football and we may not win anything until the NFF is dissolved? And he is also speaking about changing the coach. And he said changing the coach is harmful to the players, that the players have a good relationship with the coach, and that's largely what makes them to do well. Do you agree or disagree with Okocha on this one?
Let me just start with, I know I debunked it, but it was too good not to debunk. Maybe when he had the interview, he made mistake. So he went to go and debunk. But let me just say some few things. I think that sacking the NFF, that the NFF, the Nigeria might not win anything under this NFF. I think it's just, you're just blowing things out of proportion. I think we've had worse NFF than this before, honestly, and we still want something, under them. So for me, I don't think it's something that we need to, put something into. And talking about politicians, this is not new. The guy that is running our football currently now was an aspirant, to be San Francisco State governor. So he cannot say that he wasn't a politician. Amaju Pinnick was the one that booked the the debate center for the that state governors debate, ownership election debate. So he's into politics. He was the former commissioner of sports or so. Is he commissioner of sports or so in the United States? So he's a politician. So he's right on that politicians need to actually what, and they need to actually what, hands off our football. If not, football will not grow. They will take it as what, as politics. Amadi Pinnick once said something that he might not know the administrative of football very well, though, but when it comes to politics, we will leave it for him. To tell you that he is a politician. So we need to bring people that are not really politician, football fan. For me, I'm not really sure that Amani Pinnick is even a football fan, honestly. I think he plays coach. Maybe I don't know if he plays coach or.
You can play coach and be a football fan now.
I don't think he's really a football fan. I don't think he's a football fan. I think he just got opportunity in football. He's now liking football. I don't think he's really a football fan. And it's just so sad that these are the people that you want to have in our football. And employing to sport ministers too that doesn't even have any idea about football too, was also limiting our potential. So for me, I just think that it's right on that. We need to look for a way to get people that likes this game, that play this game, to be at the end of affair. He also acknowledged that he failed too when he was actually given the opportunity. Yes, it's about structure. That if you are in a place and you are not in the same page, you're gonna fail. So, and for me too, I think that it was meant to fail. In that status, because people around him are not that normal person that are not even technocrats or things like that. So for me, I think it's right with what he said. The only thing I agree with him on was just that we might not win anything at this NFF. For me, I think NFF is not responsible for us winning. I think we have been winning before, even when they won wars like this. We have been winning. So if we're gonna win, we're gonna win.
No. And I will say this: yes, Okocha came out to debunk the story. It does not necessarily mean that he didn't say those words. Or it doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't say those words. It might just be backtracking, but it also doesn't mean that he actually said it. Just to be balanced in this conversation. The journalist that wrote that article. So if the article was on some certain websites, I might have said I don't believe, but the Guardian is a fairly reputable platform. So that's the reason why I believed it a little bit, or in the beginning at least I believed it fully. But the only thing is that I went to do my research on the particular journalist in the Guardian that wrote that article, and this journalist in question has been subject of controversy in the past, whereby people said he was cooking up stories. So I would take it at face value, just because this guy has been subject of things in the past. The only thing is that, of course, if I write a negative story about you, you can easily come and say it's a lie. You know,
Yeah.
so it's hard to know if it actually happened or not. But when this is not the first time that we're hearing that, oh, this particular journalist might have cooked up a story, I don't know if it is true or not. What I will say is that whether it is true or not, I wouldn't agree with those words per se. Um, us winning something with the NFF, that one is a whole other conversation. But in terms of the coach, you know, the reality of it is that, see, we were not really moving forward under the coach that we had, interim coach that was also the TD of the NFF. You know, we needed somebody. Again, I've said it. I'm not telling anybody to love Eric Chelle. I'm not asking anybody to just think he's the best coach in the world. But I think that if people want to criticize his appointment, they should criticize it based on facts, based on football, based on knowledge. A lot of people that have been criticizing the appointments are just being sentimental and emotional about it. Oh, he's a Malian. Oh, I don't like him. Oh, we didn't give our own a chance. And they're not actually talking about football, about tactics, about his know-how, his knowledge. So that's the parts that just for me, I don't really agree with. But as far as whether or not we can win with the current NFF, I mean, we nearly won the AFCON.
Yeah.
You know, so anything can happen. You know, the administration can honestly be bad, and the players' drive and the coach and everything will still make us win. So that one, anything can happen on that side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know he's debunked it. It doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't say it. But for me, I just wanted us to talk about it because I think that it was an interesting story. Obviously, what's attributed to a Nigerian football legend, and I felt like it was worth the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. And not in response to JJ, but in a different interview, the coach of Nigeria, Eric Chelle, I'm not French. I don't have the right accent to pronounce it. But he did an interview with a platform called Martin Libre, a French platform. And he spoke about his readiness and his appointment working for Nigeria. I'll read an excerpt of the interview just to give you guys context of what our head coach said. So they were asking him that there will definitely be more pressure on him now that he's the coach of Nigeria versus the kind of pressure that he had when he was coach of Mali, and how is he going to handle the pressure? The coach said, "We play football. It is normal that there is pressure. It is normal that there is criticism. Wherever I go, in any club or team, there will be people who are fans of me and others who will hate me." He said, "Today I will work. I have my certainties. I have my game plan in mind, and I will put it to place quickly. Now my results and the team's results will speak for me." So we can say what we want, but at the time that we speak, the coach of the Nigeria national team, the Super Eagles, his name is Eric Chelle. I like the confidence and the way he answered that. He said, "There's criticism, there's pressure, people are for sure going to talk, but at the moment, the coach of Nigeria national team, his name is Eric Chelle. So no matter what anybody says, now me day for that seat, yeah, come and remove me now." That's what he's telling you. And he was also asked about how he's going to manage stars like Ademola Lookman, like Victor Osimhen, because he maybe did not have stars that were that big in Mali. And his response to that, he said, "These are great players, great men. I'm coming with a lot of humility. But once again, I have a lot of my certainties. It is a dialogue that I would have to establish between us, between him and the players." So he's saying, yes, I know that they are great players. And he's like, "I'm humbling myself. I'm coming into it humble, but again, I have my ways. I have things that I want to do. I have ways that I want things to be done. And I'm going to communicate it with them, and ultimately, now maybe the other." But yeah, Smith Layi, I'll throw it to you. These words from the coach, how do you receive them? Does it inspire more confidence in you? What do you have to say about it?
I mean, this interview that's read now, and people are applauding what he's saying. Maybe one organic interview in July, June, that scattered the whole Nigeria. Eh? So, well, I just say, I don't want to go into my very good guy, proud loss. I don't want to go into that. But I'm just focus on Eric Chelle.
Communication, have you?
Yeah, I don't want to go into that. Let me just focus on him. He's a guy, I said it initially, that he knows exactly what to do. This guy is very popular in France. It's not that he's just not got his opportunity. A lot of people knows exactly that this guy is a good tactician. People know that. So I think this Super Eagles is like what he wanted to use to launch his career. A lot of things really went wrong for him in Mali, but I think this Super Eagles career is goes really actually what helped him. I like what he said about that. See, he's not coming as a lone ranger. He's coming with his backroom staff too.
His team.
He's going to stabilize his team to go stabilize what? The dressing room. And the good thing also is that what? He's already what? Communicating with these players. So he's telling them exactly what he wants to do in match, which I like. And I can tell you that this guy knows exactly majority of the starting lineup for that game, for that game. So I'm happy that he knows exactly what he's doing. I'm happy as a confident young man. Forget that he's being playful and everything when he comes to Nigeria. He needs to be humble. But this guy, when it comes to business, this guy is very strict. And he will do things according to what he thinks will serve Nigeria very well. This guy might end up coming to Nigeria and be Nigerian hero. He might end up coming to Nigeria and you want to dash him a wife. Say, you dash him a wife because of what he did. So,
You say you don't get wife now.
No, we can dash him a star. Okay, we can get him a maid. So what I'm just trying to say basically is that I like his communication. I like I love exactly what he said, and I like that he knows exactly what he wants to do. Fantastic communicator. I can't just wait for him to hit January. The list is going to be coming out in February. At the early March, he's already compiled his list. We can just not wait to, we have to actually wait and see. Me, I like what he's saying.
Okay. And I mean, I will say, like you said, communication. This interview that he granted was not an interview in English. It was an interview in French. But he's saying the things that we want to hear. He's saying the things that would give us faith, that would give us hope, that would give us that belief that he can actually do the job that he's been called to do. Now, obviously, talking is not coaching, is not actually his job on the field. But it just inspires more confidence because, again, some of the things that we've spoken about, I was on live with Humble Henry earlier, and he asked, what are the things that could potentially make the coach fail? And one of the things that I said was, if he comes and he wants to just form, I'm the Oga, everybody do this, that. But he said, no, I'm coming into this with humility, which I feel that every coach needs to do a little bit, especially when you're not a reputable coach like that. You're not a coach that has won multiple trophies, whereby the players have no choice but to respect you. When you're a coach that is a relatively new coach, young coach, you have to come with some humility, explain your ideas to them, explain your plan to them, and get them to buy into what you are trying to do. And then by the grace of God, they buy into it, you get the right ideas, and things work out well for you. So I was happy to read that. And of course, I like the confidence that he's showing when he's speaking about his appointments. It's normal in football. No matter what you do, whether positive, whether negative, people are going to have something to say.
Yeah.
And some people are not going to say nice things. It is just normal. One of my group chats today, I was having a conversation with people, and some of the things that people were saying about certain players, I was just laughing because I'm like, are you his brother? How do you know this? But you're saying X, Y, Z about the player. People make all sorts of assumptions. They say all sorts of things. Oh, you're too playful. You're on social media too much. Some people will say, oh, Iwobi should go and cut his hair. Now that he's playing well, nobody saying hair when they carry. But when he was not playing well, oh, go and cut your hair. All sorts of things that people just say. So whether you're doing good or you're doing bad, people will always talk. And I like the fact that he acknowledged that. But at the same time, he's still saying, hey, I'm the coach. My results will speak for me. Judge him by his results. Don't judge him by the fact that you just don't like that they hired another African to come and coach Nigeria. So that interview, honestly, when I read it, I was like, yes, these are the things that I like to hear. And hopefully he's able to carry that same mentality when the job actually begins with the players. But yeah, kudos to the coach, and I'm looking forward to watching him in March. I was going to do a breakdown video to really, really analyze everything about him. I know I had promised that, but I did not do the video anymore because the people that subscribe to Patreon are not enough. I'll be very honest. The efforts that it's going to take. I was like, if people are not going to support by subscribing, I'm not going to kill myself. I'll do the one that I can do. Because I went, I already started doing the work. I went and I went to go and watch every game under coach Eric. I told you, I watched every goal that they scored under him, every goal that he considered under him, as the coach of Mali. I went and watched everything. But people are not showing support like that for the content. So I'm just like, you know what, I'll save myself the stress. I'll talk about it, of course, but for me to go and be doing all the tactical analysis, be drawing pictures, everything for people, for a small number of people to watch, which I appreciate those that have subscribed. But for the kind of audience that we have across platforms, the subscription rate is very low. People are happy with the free content, but they don't want to spend money, which I cannot force anybody to do. But it's also a little bit disheartening. But yeah, let us move on. Final topic before we start getting callers. The AFCON draws. AFCON 2024. The draws are coming up on the 27th of January 2025 from Rabat, Morocco. I will more than likely be doing a live reaction stream on YouTube. Watch along, just like I did for the CAF Awards. I'll more than likely be doing a watch along for the draws on the 27th of January. Nigeria were in pot one alongside the hosts Morocco, the defending champions Ivory Coast, Senegal, Egypt, and Algeria. In pot two, there's Cameroon, Mali, Tunisia, South Africa, DR Congo, and Burkina Faso. In pot three, there's Gabon, Angola, Zambia, Uganda, Equatorial Guinea, and Benin Republic. In pot four, there's Mozambique, Comoros, Tanzania, Sudan, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. And at home, there's Ghana. But let's get into the conversation. So we're in pot one for the AFCON draws that are coming up. Smith Layi, who are the teams that you would ideally like us to draw? Of course, it's going to be one team from each pot making up the group. Which team? Let's start from pot two. Cameroon, Mali, Tunisia, South Africa, DR Congo, Burkina Faso. Who do you want to be Nigeria's group at the AFCON?
For Eric Chelle, I know that you want Mali. It's going to be an emotional return, for him. He will now show them Pepe. But for me, I want Tunisia. And hopefully, Gabon is not going to be the one that will take us there.
I just knew you would say that. Where is that Tunisia?
So, I want Tunisia. I think that Cameroon might be tricky under the new coach. Mali too. I know that when West Africa, South Africa, we don't want, except we want engagement on social media a lot. So now beat up that game against South Africa, DR Congo, and Burkina Faso. We have to look for a way to avoid those type of people because of West African neighbors, Burkina Faso. And for me, I think Tunisia will take the box for me. I just think that we are stronger than them and we go deal with them under a very good coach, not under our pep.
Mio, give me DR Congo, give me Burkina Faso. I can't even lie to you. I don't want South Africa, man. Like South Africa, give me South Africa in semi-final. Give me South Africa in semi-final. When the South Africans have started to believe, when they started to dream, I want to come and kill their dreams. But I don't give me South Africa in group stage. Give me DR Congo, give me Burkina Faso. I feel like we can handle them. Cameroon, like you said, under a new coach, it could be tough. Even though Cameroon are not that great, but it could be tough. Mali is too much of a grudge match. Let's just allow it. Mali, you can give me Mali in quarterfinal, but I don't want them in group stage. Tunisia, they beat us last time, so I don't know. I'm just like, see, this is not that
They
beat just let me
without playing great.
so I'm just like, see, just leave them alone for now. Let us maybe when I've seen the coach play some games and I trust him more, maybe I can say, okay, give me Tunisia. But as of today, give me DR Congo, man. Give me Burkina Faso. I think we can take those teams, even if we don't play our best game. DR Congo, they have good players, no doubt. I'm not even going to deny that they have good players. But
They can beat
I still think that we can take them. What do you say?
They can beat us.
They can beat us, but we should be winning. If it's not any team can beat us, to be honest. Like, look at us, but we should be winning against a team like that, And then Burkina Faso, they have a lot of fights. They have some technical players in their team, but overall, that's a team that we should be handling. So one of those two is fine for me. But I see some people are saying Mali. Some people said I want South Africa. Somebody said I want Morocco. Morocco is in our pot, so we can't get them in the same group. Somebody said give me easy teams for all I care. Daniel says, LOL, I don't want North African team. Oh. Somebody said Ghana is in Jollof pots.
That's a very good joke.
Ghana is in Jollof
That joke.
pots. But yeah, okay. In pot 3, we have Gabon, Angola, Zambia, Uganda, Equatorial Guinea, or Benin Republic. Smith Layi, who do you want?
Equatorial Guinea.
Again.
Yeah, I want Equatorial Guinea. I want Equatorial Guinea. And it's going to be a very interesting, interesting match. I don't want Angola. I will say that because
I don't want Angola either.
I don't want Angola. I will prefer Gabon, Uganda, but I just think that Equatorial Guinea or Benin Republic. Either I will pick any of those 2 teams. I think that will be good against Equatorial Guinea.
Okay. Me, I don't know why you're choosing the way you're choosing us, but like, I'll not even lie to you. Give me Uganda, bro. Give me Uganda. See, Gabon is not a strong thing. To be honest, we should be beating Gabon. But I just don't give me. Angola, no thank you. Angola is a team that can shock you on any day. Angola have stopped us from going to World Cup before. I know it's been a long time. It was a long time ago, but all those history things, don't give me Angola. I still remember that Mabululu's goal at the last AFCON. When you can't do that kind of finesse against us, please don't give me Angola. Zambia, we know that Zambia is a team that if they come together on any given day, they can perform. Equatorial Guinea, we should be able to beat, but we saw them in the last AFCON. We held them to a draw because they scored us first, and we had to equalize through a pen. It wasn't our best game, even though it was the first game of the tournament. So maybe we hadn't really gotten our stride yet. And then Benin Republic is gonna draw, man. You know that every time that Benin play us, because they have Genotro and because they have people like Tosin Ayego, people like Ishola that are Nigerians but play for Benin Republic, they always have that extra ginger to show us what we are missing. So I don't need that. I don't need that. Give me Uganda.
Yeah.
I don't see, even if, with all due respect to Uganda, even if they add me to the squad, we'll still beat them. So please give me Uganda.
I watched them during the AFCON qualifiers. I was thinking that they can run, a lot. But I just think that we destroyed the Equatorial Guinea, even not because we missed opportunities, against in the first.
What if we miss opportunities again?
No, for me, and they're even weaker because their top scorer is no longer available. It's Insue. It's now suspended. It's not really suspended. It's not suspended. Not suspended actually. It's no longer eligible to play for Equatorial Guinea because. So for me, I think we can actually do. And and what's it called? It's the team I want to mention there. But the Republic too. Since the days of like Musa Latunji, Muri Ogunbeyi, these are the players that during their first AFCON, they'll be very hard for Nigeria to beat them. So that's why we not even come close compared to get a draw being there. So Gabon have some decent players, all those Lamina and everybody. They have some decent players. So that's what all these small decent players against Nigeria. Those guys will show before you know it, they shock Nigeria. So that's why I'm just going for just think that Equatorial Guinea will be okay for us. So you have picked Uganda, okay?
But sorry, just talking about Insue, isn't it so funny how they can just all of a sudden say somebody was ineligible to play for the national team for the longest, all this time that he has been playing, has been their best player. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, he wasn't eligible, and they've banned him. But yeah, that was just a funny one. But yeah, I think I'll just avoid Equatorial Guinea. Give me Uganda. Nigeria. What did I say? DR Congo, Uganda. Then let's go to Pot 4. Pot 4, we have Mozambique, Comoros, Tanzania, Sudan, Zimbabwe, Botswana. Who are you taking from this pot to play against us?
For me, because of the way it is, even this Pot 4 is slightly very tricky for me. But I think I would like to go for Botswana. I know that there's a lot of things happening in Botswana now. They are investing a lot in football. They have qualified for every single tournaments in Africa. No, sorry, not Botswana, Tanzania, sorry. So, but Botswana team, I guess there's something going on for them. They have the youngest FA president in Africa, you know. For me, I think that against Nigeria, they're going to be a problem. You know, I don't think, I think Botswana, I prefer Botswana for me.
I think for me, I don't know. I feel like this pot 4, we should be able to take on any team in pot 4 and win. Zimbabwe is in our World Cup group, so I would ideally like to avoid playing the same team again, just because. Tanzania are currently, you know, on an upward trajectory, but I think we can still win. Comoros, we should be beating Comoros. They have a lot of fights, but Comoros is a team that Nigeria should never be worried about, with all due respect to them. Mozambique are doing well in their World qualifying. I think they are second in their World qualifying group. Mozambique, you know, they are doing decent. So maybe just avoid a team that is performing well. You know, I don't know. They might have qualified for the World Cup by that time, so they might be gingered. Who knows? Mozambique at the World Cup is crazy though. But they won't qualify ahead of Algeria, but they can finish second and go to the playoffs. But I think from this one, I'll probably say give me Comoros. I know that Comoros, they have fighting spirits. I know that they beat Chales, but we'll flog them. You know, we'll flog them. I think I like when Nigeria plays against all these small teams that think they have level, and we'll just humble them. Just show them that no. There's a difference between big boys and small boys. So I think I'll take Comoros. You know, if they beat us, it'll be an interesting story for them. It'll be a big win for them and their history. But I think we have what it takes to beat any team in pot 4. If you cannot beat pot 4 teams, that's a problem. You know, but I think for the story, for the interests, you know, I would like Comoros. Sudan are doing okay, but I don't want Zimbabwe because they are in our group. Botswana, I'll just avoid them. South African teams, leave us alone for now. So I think I'll take Comoros. You know, small nation. If they can beat us, is a huge story for them. But I think we'll humble them. So for me, I think I said what Nigeria, DR Congo, Uganda, Comoros. Smith Layi said Nigeria. Who did you say in pot 2? Tunisia. You said Equatorial Guinea, and then you said Botswana.
Yes.
There's a 99% chance that it's not going to happen in the way that we said. So nobody should go and put money on it. We're just guessing, and we're just saying who we would like. You know, we're just saying who we would like. But of course, it's the draws, man. The ball can, you know, all of a sudden now you see Nigeria, South Africa, Angola, and Zimbabwe or something. Anything can happen. You know. But looking forward to the draws on the 27th, 6 days from now. And like I said, I'm going to be most likely doing a live watch along for the draws. Let me just see what people are saying in the comments very quickly. James Jesse says Nigeria, South Africa, Equatorial Guinea, Tanzania. It says Comoros is tough. Is that Comoros? The money said Comoros will wipe Ghana. Ghana is not Nigeria. Let me see. Sorry. Let me see what other people are saying. DX says we don't want this, we don't want that. Which team can we now beat as AFCON finalists? No, I mean we can beat any team, but again, I'd rather face the tough teams later in the competition. No need to come and be wasting your energy in the group stage. You know, let us be able to rest our players a little bit, and then when we get in the knockout rounds, you know, to be the best, you have to beat the best. So in the knockout round, give me, like I said, give me Mali in the quarters, give me South Africa in the semis, you know, give me Morocco, Senegal in the final. But for group stage, I like to avoid, you know, wahala. You know, avoid the had I known. We don't want wahala. Ola keeps says I don't want any North Africa. Somebody says Benin will wipe us woto. Somebody says if we are grouped with Equatorial Guinea, make them sure no carry that their ladies man as their mascots. Somebody TTT Dele says give me Morocco, Tunisia, and Senegal. Morocco is in our pot, so you can't get Morocco. You can't get Senegal as well. They are in our pot. But Tunisia we can't get. Footballer Connect says AyoT we should be okay. We should be. I mean we should. But you never know. Step Money says even Guinea-Bissau will wipe Nigeria too. Well, I don't think Guinea-Bissau did not qualify, so
they didn't qualify.
Yeah, they didn't qualify, so they're not even in this conversation. James Jesse says we perform well against Southern African teams. Okay. if you want to join, if you want to share your thoughts on anything that we discussed today, feel free to send a request and we'll bring you up. If you have any questions, just type your question into that box as the bubble that is on the bottom of your screen. Ask your question or put it on screen and we'll respond to your question. If you want to call, send a request now and we'll take people for the next 25 minutes and then we'll call it an evening. Yes. Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I came here to praise Smith Layi and also to attack him. Yes, I'm here.
Hello, AyoT. Hello, Smith Layi.
Yes.
So,
Good evening. Okay, humble and go on.
okay, number one, for Bruno Nyemachi, yes, Smith gave him 8/10. Yes, which is very good. I will give him 8.4/10. Yes, which is very good because for him to, if they can be able to play in Champions League, it will help him to understand, so many players that he can play. It's toward that Champions League is when you saw Emmanuel Dennis. So many clubs started coming for him. Then concerning about what is his name, Maduka Okoye. If it is true, because it is very difficult for goalkeepers to be given yellow card, and so many people started putting yellow cards. Betting that they will give him yellow cards, and eventually, he was booked to yellow card. If he's found guilty, let them give him 5 years. I don't care. Yes. If it is found guilty, let them give even 5 or 6 years. By now, he's supposed to use his tongue to count his teeth. If you are a footballer, you have to be professional. And to be honest with you, I think he's guilty. Yes. To be honest with you, I think he's guilty. Then another one is what Okocha said, that politicians are not allowed to be in position of our football. I disagree with him. Man by nature is a political being. He would have said politicians that understand football. I remembered Ojus Okalo. He's a politician. He understands football. That is when Enyimba won it back to back. If you're a politician, if you don't know football, don't come closer to our football. Don't come closer to the NFF for this. If you know football, come. If you have the passion to help, come. Use your political ways and come and help us. But if you don't know football and you are coming there, that is when you are pissing us off. That would be another one that I will say. Then, what again did I remember? The negative talk. There are so many things I wanted to say. Okay, concerning about still Okocha saying that the politician handled this. Iguavon is not a politician, but he's there. Baba is not a politician, but he's there. He's not talking about them. So many of the 1994 set, they are not politicians, but they are there. What are they doing? Are they zombies? If I see him, I will talk to him. So what are you talking about? If you are talking about politicians are not talking about, what about Iguavon? What about Ibeba? What about all those people? What about Garuba Lawa, who has been there? What have they been doing? You see, so these are my questions. The 1994 say, look at Kano Wanko. Look at now, show us something. We have been clamored, okay, come and help us. You are in Enyimba doing nothing, doing buying and selling. You and Ducho we are rating you guys out, and you are there just using Enyimba to do trading as cryptocurrency or what. That one aside. Then another one is concerned about Eric Chelle. Yeah, Smith has beginning to make me to like this man, and I'm looking at something that is very, very good. That is very, very good in the sense that he knows what he wants. And if he will come and discipline our players, whoever that will not listen to him, push him away. If he like to bring any local player to, I will support him. I don't care whoever he's trying to bring. So far as they understand his philosophy, I will be very, very happy. And Smith also said, don't be surprised, your own players, he may drop them. In fact, if he drop any of my favorite players, I will be very, very happy. Insofar as that is fighting for the common good of the society, that is Nigeria, that will make us happy. If indeed is the one causing us problem, drop him. If it is Osimhen causing us problem, drop him. So far as we are going to this, that is my life. Then another thing I want to say is my favorite player, Ola Aina.
Ola Aina is your favorite.
Everybody know now.
Ah,
Osimhen is the second. Yes, and everybody know. Go to my page. Go to my page. Wait, now go to my page. Everybody knows a long time ago.
Okay.
Why am I saying this? I'm using Ola Aina as a point of a case study for our Nigerian players born at home. I'm going to make a picture of Ola Aina, Lukman, and Bameyi. You will see that Bameyi is older than Ola Aina in face.
It's not by
Bameyi is
face now. It's not by face. It's not by
I
face.
am coming. No, yes, I know it's not by face, but look, even if it's not by face, you can't cheat in nature. Let's be honest to ourselves. Look at it there.
So
Let's be honest to ourselves.
You are telling me that Bameyi is 28 or above.
It's not even telling you. Yes, Bameyi is older. It's yes. And some of them,
I don't like when people make unfounded claims. We don't know this for a fact.
No. See. Let's be honest to ourselves. Why did I pick Bameyi? Why I picked him because we have helped him. They have helped him. They are pushing him. They have helped him so well. Let's be honest to ourselves. You have helped somebody, put him here, and the person is not progressing. It's so annoying. You yourself, if you know, if any player that have gotten what Bameyi have gotten, what do you think? He just like a silver spoon. They are just giving him, pushing him up, but he's not improving. Then what is the problem? So man, looking at Ola Aina, I'm so happy that every day he's growing, he's improving. Lukman, every day he's growing, he's improving. The same thing with Osimhen. Then my last thing will be Osimhen going to Arsenal or Man U. For me, going to Arsenal, 0. Going to Man U, 100%. Why did I say going to Man U, 100%? Because Man U players lacks leadership skills. If Osimhen enter into that Man U team, he will ginger all the players. None of the players in Man U is gingering themselves. Nobody is ginger. It's the coach. He will help the coach to fight everything. I'm telling you, if Osimhen will be in the striking force with Man U, that Amadiano, what's his name? You will see the two combination. Yes, you will see the combination. We saw what he did with Lukman in AFCON. Now, take for example, remove Osimhen from the AFCON. Let's be honest to ourselves. We will be struggling. That guy, even if things are not working well, he will find a way to make sure that every player, even if that you guys are down, he will try to raise your spirit up. That is what Man U want. Not all about the player. A player that will come and talk to fellow player. Look at what you are doing. Look at Van Dijk. Look at the goal they scored them today. He was shouting all the whole defenders. That is what Man U wants. And that is what I think. If you go there, you will see some changes. Yes, they are 14 in at the table, but if God please answer my prayer, answer my prayer. Let Osimhen go to
Congratulations.
Man. Let Osimhen go to Man.
So you don't want
Yeah.
soft life for Osimhen. You want him to go and be battling in United.
No, all his life, now. You know all his
Okay,
life.
he knows how to make it
He
out.
has make this one. Because if you go to Arsenal, he might have problem with Arteta. I'm telling you, he might have problem with him because Arteta, for me, I don't see him as a coach. You expect too much for over 5 years. You can't get something. 5 years. I don't see him as a
didn't
coach
they
for me. No,
win FA Cup?
that with FA Cup. No, we want league. We want 5 years. We want league. Okay, now that Man City is not doing well, let's be honest. They're supposed to be at the top. Let's be honest to ourselves. They're supposed to be at the top. Man City is not doing well. But look at their struggle. I'll rest my case, my brother.
All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Larry. Mr. Adidotson, the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about
Yeah,
today?
thank you very much. Let me just start from the girls that just moved to different clubs. I think good luck to them, but just like Miss Lai said, I will want them to to focus on the reason why they moved. And their family members should please also don't put these girls under pressure that now they're in US and start asking them for money. They should understand that it's not easy to make money here too. I wish the girls very good luck, and they should be focused because American life can make you go astray if you don't be careful. If you're not careful, you can miss it. That's that on that. On Vince Osuji, I wish him well, good luck to him. I love the boy, but my problem is I'm just saying it. That age is just my problem. That is age 18 years. That's the only problem I have.
You don't
I
think
don't
he's 18?
I don't think I don't think I don't believe it's 18. That's my own. I wish him well because, like I've been saying, I don't want players that will come and serve us for 3 years and they will go into oblivion. I don't want that. That's my problem with that one. Then let me start from Eric Chelle. I said it on Umbrellas Live that I will support this guy all the way because it takes a courageous man to take the job of Super Eagles where we are now. It takes a courageous man to take that job. So I will support him, even though I'm a fan of 94 and 96 sets, and I feel most of them are not happy with his appointment. I don't care. I will support him, and I wish him well, and I want everybody to support him. Any players he wants to bring, he should bring them, but I will give him my support. Then my sending request is based on what the alleged JJ's comments. Umbrella has said a lot about it. We've been having politicians running our football. And why we continue to allow politicians is because even the so-called ex-internationals, they also liaise with politicians for them to get the job. Just like Umbrella said, we want politicians that love football. You cannot tell me that the people that went to bring Western or Western politicians, Alex Akele was a politician. Late Papa S.B. Williams was a politician. But when they brought this guy, even the people that this guy will be having either a politician or a military personnel as head of our football. So I don't agree with what the coach said. And when he said, and what that he said that before they change any coach, the NFF should call some players. Bro, that is not the right thing to do. Why should NFF call some players and ask them if they should change the coach or not? The players are under the NFF, what gives the impression? What gave JJ the impression that the players the NFF cannot be benched or cannot be sent out of the team? No, the team is bigger than anybody. So on my own, I disagree with him vehemently. And when he said you can't win anything, he shouldn't say that. But like a lot of we said that that he debunked it. Since he debunked it, I want to believe that he didn't say that. But if he has said that, I disagree with him vehemently. That is on that. Then on Ola Aina, that boy is playing the best football of his life. Just that I disagree with my brother Layi when he said Ola Aina is our best right back of all time. He knows how some of us disagree with him. I mean, I'll still give it to Otobo. That's he's actually I'll still give it to Otobo. Has been our best right back ever. You know, I think it's a thing of choice. So but all the same, Ola Aina has been doing well. I wish him well. I pray he continues to do well. But on Victor, we cannot choose a club for him. I'm sure his handlers, they know the best place for him to go to. You know, if he if he goes to Man U, I wish him well. But I would not want him to go to Man U now because Osimhen, being one of our best players, should be playing in European competition. He should play European competition, so he should not go to Man U. Because when it is, Man U cannot qualify. Man U cannot make Europe.
Make Europe.
Man U cannot make Europe.
Man U is trying to avoid relegation. You say make Europe.
that I said he shouldn't go to Man U. He shouldn't go to Man U. That means we will be playing only FA Cup and League. No. He shouldn't go to Man U. Then what other topic did I discuss that was trying to because it's Soroju. So I forgot what I wanted to say.
Do you want to talk about the AFCON draws? You want to talk about Maduka?
Yes, I was going to say AyoT. We've not been having it easy against DR Congo since they were Zaire. We've not been having it easy against them. Hence, I agree with Layi that I prefer Tunisia than DR Congo. You know, and but I agree with you too that I want us to have all the weak teams in our group, like Uganda, even Tanzania. We are going to beat them. All those weak teams, we want them in our group. I don't want us to play against Benin now. I don't want us. But one team I want us to meet, either in second round or quarterfinal, is South Africa. After South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire. Or I so much want us to meet Cote d'Ivoire in the final and take a revenge. Because that match is still paining me. I want for us to meet Cote d'Ivoire in the final and take that revenge. So that's just about that. But I'm not, like I said, I don't want us to meet Angola now. I don't want us to meet Angola now. That Mali, Otisele will beat them. Otisele will beat them. But all to be equal, I just want every one of us, even our ex-internationals that are not supporters of Eric Chelle, to please support the guy. When the late Stephen Keshi went to coach Mali, they did not say that how could you bring a Nigerian? When went to go, they didn't say that. When Amunike went to Tanzania, they didn't say all that. You know, when we had a rumor sometimes about 2 weeks ago, that Ghana wanted Eguavon, they didn't say anything that I should bring a Ghanaian. But if Eric Chelle is going to do his job, we should let the guy do his job. Now, what Smith saw if they employ this guy Patrick Vieira, people will say, why should you bring a Senegalese? He's originally a Senegalese. Is originally a Ghanaian. These guys were born in Senegal and Ghana respectively. So I want for our ex-internationals, both 94 and 96 sets, to please support Eric Chelle. And on Enyimba, I have said it. That's the question I asked Osimhen and Ola yesterday, that what criteria did the governor use? What criteria did he use to appoint Nwankwo Kanu as the chairman of the club? Or just did that for the optics? Has Kanu ever managed anything before? Even his team, FC, he was not even doing managing, he was just the owner of the team. And now brought him to Enyimba, a humble Sterling team. To do what? See, these are the people, or these are the questions that the legend Osimhen Okocha should be asking. Why did the governor appoint Nwankwo Kanu as the chairman without any prior experience? Now look at what's happening to Enyimba. I thought, thank God that they didn't reduce our slots. It will be a disaster. That a mighty country as big as Nigeria will be having only two representatives in Africa, in African competitions. That's why I said we should do the right thing. And like Smith said earlier on, when a club wins the league with the next season, like 70% of the players that won the league with that club will be sold. I know that they will even sell them to good clubs. They will sell them to Bangladesh, Luxembourg, and Co. For what? Maybe Smith, is it still allowed what anybody did in 2003? Is it still allowed, Smith, that they can get players from other clubs to come and help them in the Champions League?
It's not. It wasn't even allowed then. It wasn't even allowed then. They got in trouble with America by area. So even now,
but we did it.
We did it, but they got in trouble. They got in trouble. It was nearly they could nearly take them, suspend them because of Ahmed Gaba area.
And Co. See, any clubs that want to represent us at continental, they should please retain at least 80% of their players. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Adedotu. Thank you, Homo Henry. We're out of time, so I will let the both of you guys go now, just so that we can wrap up.
Okay.
And thank you to everyone that has contributed in the comments section as well. Okay. So, Smith Layi, we've spoken about a lot. We've spoken about a lot today, from the good to the ugly to the not so good. We're looking forward to see what happens in the AFCON draws coming up in 6 days' time.
Yeah.
Once again, subscribe to Eagle Striker on YouTube. I'm more than likely going to be doing a watch along for the AFCON draws. I want to say certainly, but just leaving that 1% of doubt in case something happens. But subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can enjoy that watch along. And of course, January transfer window is open for a couple more days, and we're still expecting some Nigerian players to be on the move. Looking forward to seeing those transfers come to life. Also looking forward to the new NWSL season. Excuse me, because we now have more female Nigerian players that are going to be plying their trade in the USA. So that's going to be an exciting one. Of course, the likes of Ajibade are still doing their thing. The likes of Nadozie are still doing their thing in Europe. The likes of Onumonu has been doing well for Montpellier. And yeah, lots of interesting things to come. Smith Layi, before we round off, I'll just address. I made a post on Instagram yesterday after a series of tweets on my personal Twitter handle, and there was a lot of controversy. I had multiple Nigerian players reach out to me, say, "Oh, am I talking about them?" One of them was very mad at me. I would just like to say, I said what I said. I don't take any of the things that I said back. Anybody that thinks I shouldn't have said it, fine. I knew that it was going to draw conversation. I knew that some people were going to disagree with me. I'm not stupid. But I felt like it was necessary to say, given the circumstances, given the time, everything. And this is something that I've been saying for multiple years now. I just said it in a very direct way yesterday. And, I knew that some people were going to get upset. But I feel like I'm at the point where I'm not trying to upset anybody, but I don't care if anybody gets upset. As long as I didn't talk about you, I didn't mention your name. That post wasn't directed at any one person. Now, naturally, I know that human beings are going to start assuming that, oh, it was this player, it was that player. No, it's every general statement. So many players posted about the things that I spoke about. So many players do the things that I spoke about. It's not any one player. Not because somebody did something recently. Oh, you're talking about that player. No, it was a very general statement. Like I said, I've been saying this thing for years. Unfortunately, sometimes people don't listen until you hit them where it hurts. And I said it in some very tough words. I won't say harsh words, tough words. And people got upset. I do not apologize. I do not take those words back. I said what I said. Nigerian players need to learn that they are these superstars and that these bloggers, including myself, these people are not people that they should be trying to latch on to simply because they have 1 million followers or 5 million followers. No, you are the superstar. Build your brand. These people are the ones that should be begging to associate with you, not you trying to associate with them because of maybe one post that they will make about you sometime. And again, like I said, it's sad that Nigerian footballers, not all, but many of them don't offer the same respect, the same care to those that care about them. It is not a personal thing. It's not about me. It is about the industry in general. The Nigerian football industry is not booming. And a big part of why it's not booming is because the people that are working hard don't have the support of the Nigerian players. That's the reality. Even little things, like I always say, like down to little things like liking posts on Instagram. If a platform like 433 makes a post in 10 seconds, you see 20 different Nigerian players have liked the post. But then if Smith Layi makes a post, if OJB makes a post, if Kalista makes a post, if Eagle Striker make a post, if Nigerian footballers make a post, very, very little engagement from Nigerian footballers. If Austin makes a post, if Oluwashino makes a post, the list goes on and on. People think, oh, I'm talking about yourself. No, it's a general thing. People are working hard. People care about Nigerian football. People spend their hard-earned money. They spend their time, everything. And the reality of it is that Nigerian football players don't give the respect and the credit, that is deserved. I always big up the ones that always do. People like Kenneth Omeruo, people like Leon Balogun, people like Rafael Onyedika. There are a number of them that they always show that respect. They always say thank you. They realize that, see, even if yes, his content is news, they realize that you're still taking time out of your day to put them into the eyes of the public, to celebrate them, and they appreciate. Nobody is saying send me money. Nobody is saying give me 5 million, give me 10 million, nothing like that. But just care about those that care about you. Don't neglect those that care about you, and focus all your energy and time on people that only care about you when you go viral or when you do something for them, or when there's just gist that they have to talk about, or maybe when you're fighting your wife. Oh, that's when Insta blog, everybody's talking about you. But those that are talking about you when good things are happening in your life, you don't care, you don't engage, you don't respect. So again, I take no single word, I take none of them back. I don't apologize to anybody because I wasn't talking about any one particular person. It is a general Nigerian football thing. Do I want to work with Nigerian players? Yes. But if you don't want to work with me, work with somebody. That's all I ask. Work with somebody. Build a brand for yourself. Build a unique image for yourself. You are a star in your own right. Don't be cheap. Don't be chasing cheap affiliation. That is going to do little or nothing for you. Yes, when you are in Nigeria, you might hang out with certain people and you might go to club and whatever. But what's that doing for you in the long run? Appreciate those that appreciate you. Appreciate those that care about you. Care about those that care about you. Give a damn about those that give a damn about you. And don't ignore those people and focus on those that don't. Again, I'm not saying don't be friends with people. I'm not saying don't affiliate with people. I'm just saying don't do that and neglect those that actually really, really, really care about you and fight for you every day and push you into the eyes of the public and spend their hard-earned money following you, supporting you, cheering you on, defending you, spend their time, everything. we need our Nigerian football industry to grow rather. And if the players don't back those that are working in the industry, if the players don't show some kind of support, I'm not even, again, it's not financial support I'm talking about. I'm just talking about support in general. If you don't show these things, it's going to be hard for the industry to grow. People are working hard, man. People are working hard. We need everybody. It needs to be a team thing. We need everybody on board. You guys that are audience, you guys are also part of it. Support the industry. Support your favorite content creators. Support your favorite journalists. Support your favorite media platforms, because we need everybody to come on board for this industry to grow. And when the industry grows, it's going to benefit every single one of us. It's not going to benefit just one player or just one platform or just one fan or just one journalist. It's going to benefit everybody. And if you guys see the engagement on that post, you can see that some fans were arguing with me, some fans were insulting me, disagreeing with me. But you look at the comments, that all the media people were agreeing with me, because they know the struggle that they go through. They know the insults that they sometimes hear from Nigerian players. I know the number of insults that I've seen from Nigerian players. I know the kind of words that some Nigerian players have said to me. I've said some of them to you guys in the past. And when you work hard and people just try to discredit your work like that, it's not a nice thing. It doesn't matter what work you are doing. It's not a nice thing. But then they just appreciate every other person that doesn't really work hard for them or do anything for them. It's not a nice thing. And again, I'm the voice of the voiceless when it comes to Nigerian football. I have my own platform. I don't fear any single person. You are not feeding me. You are not doing anything for me. So why would I be scared? And that's why I was telling people, if I was talking about any one person in particular, I'll mention their name. I've mentioned people's names all the time. I wasn't talking about any one person in particular. It's a general Nigerian football thing that I hope is going to change. Let me not ramble on and on about that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check my page. The post is still up. The post is going to stay up. And for any Nigerian player that got offended because somebody sent it to them and said, I'm talking negative about you, I always challenge people. Why don't you ask those people, why are they not sending you the good things that I'm saying about you? Why is it the one that they think is negative that can make you get upset that they send to you? You think these people are your friends, but all they want to do is to cause rift between you and other people. That's my own. I challenge you to ask them all the good things that this person has ever said about me. Why don't you send it to me? Why do you only want to send the negative one to me? Think, use your brain. On that note, let's call it a night. Smith Layi, always nice talking football with you.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll be back again next week.
yeah.
Next week we are on YouTube. So make sure you
Go,
subscribe to the Eagle
go
Striker
break.
YouTube
Like,
channel.
I think YouTube will do. I think at that time we should be done with the draws.
Yes, by then the draws would have been done. Yeah.
Mm.
So we would what's it called? We would react to the draws. We'll talk about everything that has happened. There will be some transfers completed by then. There will be new gist to talk about. It's going to be a fun one. On the Ego Striker YouTube channel, exclusive interview with Emeka Eze is coming up this weekend. Exclusive interview with Emeka Eze. Unfortunately, because we are not on YouTube today, I'm not able to show you guys the trailer. But it's a fantastic interview. Um, I like being honest with you guys, so I will tell you, it starts a bit slow and then it picks up and it gets really, really interesting from like maybe after the first 30 minutes, it gets so interesting. I'm not saying skip the first 30 minutes or no, but I'm just saying after the first 30 minutes, it gets really interesting when he starts talking about his struggle, about the things that he went through, about his experiences in Europe. So much. The whole interview is about 1 hour, 50 minutes long. You guys know me. When I start talking football, I can talk for 5 days if you give me the chance. But it's a fantastic interview. After that, I have an interview with Rafael Layagua. I have an interview with Leke James. I have an interview coming up with Daniel Akwe. I have Vincent Yama has agreed. No, not Vincent Yama. Yakubu Ayegbemi has agreed. We're still trying to. We've not recorded that one yet. But there's so much more that is coming, man. At least every other week there's going to be a new interview. I'm also going to talk to some media people because I want to diversify it a little bit. People like Victor Modo that have done great work in the Nigerian football industry. I know that they will have stories to tell. People like Fans Tribe that have built the biggest Nigerian football platform on social media. I know that they have interesting stories to
And
tell.
Ghana media.
You but yeah, lots of interesting stories are going to be shared. So make sure you lock into Eagle Striker on YouTube. And if you want to enjoy exclusive content like highlights videos, like match reviews, like match analysis, the kind of stuff that we cannot really post on YouTube because of copyright and all those other things, where I really go in depth into showing you how players are performing, where I will do match analysis. Subscribe to Eagles Tracker on Patreon. Patreon.com/Eagles Tracker NG is the website, and you can enjoy this exclusive content. There's a fee. There are 3 tiers. There are 3 levels. The cheapest level costs less than a cup of coffee. So of course, it's money, but it's also a way for you to support the channel. You can also gift membership to other people. So if maybe you know somebody that cannot afford it and you want to gift a membership to them so that they can enjoy the content as well, you can do that. But I encourage you guys to sign up to support and also to enjoy the high quality content. If you want to get merchandise, you can also get merchandise on eaglestrackershop.com. And on that note, I say thank you to everyone for tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. As always, my name is AyoT. My co-host is
Smith Layi. Thank you
yes,
guys for
and this has been the Naija FC podcast on Eagles Tracker. Bye bye, guys.
yes.
Enjoy. Nice.
CSS.